of Lords. Selassie is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. I rebuke all negativity. I rebuke all animosity. I rebuke all of the envy, and Jah shine his light on me. Say, I rebuke all of the hatred, and I rebuke all of the greed. I rebuke all negativity, and Jah shine his light on me. Just call me your friend. I'm a camel in the desert. I'm a lion in the field. I'm of the tribe of Judah. I'm a Nazarite for thee. I'm a peacemaker. I'm of justly character. I'm like as a dove, come to unite all with love. I'm a precious stone. I'm a precious gem. You can call me Jacent. You can call me your friend. Where there's love, you will find me. Where there's hate, don't remind me, because the tribe of Judah now resides in me. And I rebuke all negativity. I rebuke all animosity. I rebuke all of the envy, and Jah shine his light on me. Say, I rebuke all of the hatred. I rebuke all of the greed. Say, I rebuke all negativity, and Jah shine his light on me, yeah. I'm a Nazarite for thee. I'm a Nazarite for thee. I'm a Nazarite for thee. My roots, my roots, my roots. I can't forget my roots. My African roots, my Ethiopian roots. My roots keep me strong. My roots keep me holding on. My roots prevent me from getting thin. And my roots is where my life begins. My roots is my identity. My roots is what's keeping me. My roots are never dry. My root is my reason why. My roots can never be washed away. My roots is always here to stay. And my roots is not meant to be combed. And my roots tell me I found my home. My roots is where I belong. My roots identify what's wrong. My roots is my only weapon. My roots keep me holding on. My roots keep me growing without me even knowing. My roots is what's in my heart. My roots ain't no poison dart. My roots let me say what I mean, and my roots let me mean what I say. My roots keep me growing strong, and I admire what it's showing. My roots give me strength, so I'm no longer bent. My roots give me strength, so I'm no longer bent. My roots give me strength, so I'm no longer bent. Selassie, Jah Rastafari.
Of the Revive Yourself podcast. Here we go.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Have you got a health issue that just won't go away no matter what you try? Then welcome to the Revive Yourself podcast, where we reveal the secrets to long-lasting health by getting to the root cause of problems that no one else is talking about. So you can have more energy, clear skin, healthier hair, a leaner physique, more confidence, and most importantly, do the things you love and live the life you deserve. Here's your host, Ryan Martin.
Yes, greetings to ones and ones out there. Again, welcome again to the Jammaster Show. And we're here to give the truth, not but the truth and the absolute truth. And we will be talking about the whole thing about health. So we're going to touch on that. Again, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. So I hope everything is start off a nice bang on a level. Everybody full join themselves over this festive season. We celebrate Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa means the first fruit, and that's over 7 days, and that's what we're dealing with. Anyway, we want to give thanks still. Give thanks to Ragga D for the mix and blend show. As you know, he turns it upside down. Ambassador of reggae music. So we'll be touching a little bit around health. So again, you're lucky to the big one. Big up to the management team, the staff of Bless Radio. We want to go straight into the series.
Now, I mean, we'll be going into it with Dave. Urotherapy's been around for a long, long time. It's only since 1940s they took it out of the medical literature and for healing people. So, without further ado, here's Dave, here's the episode, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 62 of the Revive Yourself podcast. Today we have a very interesting guest, Dave Murphy. He's actually in Birmingham at the moment. He's actually also another Essex boy originally, just down the road from myself. And we're going to be talking all about urine therapy. But he's just told me he's actually in Birmingham at the moment, where he's been talking at the Flat Earth Convention. How's that gone, Dave?
Actually went very, very well indeed. We ended up, one of the things we had going on there was we had a debate against some astrophysicists. And we'd actually we checkmated them a couple of times. It was brilliant, you know.
Really? Is that going to be available to watch anywhere or buy anywhere, or is it only conventions?
No, it will be. I think in the next couple of days, they're going to be putting out the videos. But that debate will be one to watch because
awesome.
it was great. We had them stumped. You know, they ended up looking at each other and thinking, okay.
It's anyone who hasn't really looked into the flat Earth. I mean, people think it's all like tinfoil hat, and people are crazy. And they talk about NASA. A lot of people don't realise that those NASA images are actually. I mean, they're actually just. They're not real. They're fake. It's similar to they talk about the dinosaurs at the History Museum. They're not actually real bones. They're actually all replica bones. And people don't actually realise this. They think that because why would you? You know, if you don't know, you don't know. You just believe things were, and it's something we get on. So where will those videos be released, Dave?
As I said, I don't really know yet. I just got told that in the next couple of days they'll start releasing them.
Cool.
But I guess if you start searching YouTube in the next couple of days for Flat Earth UK Convention, you'll find them.
Awesome. Well, and I'll give you a message, and hopefully we can get that out there. And we will get you back on. We'll have a nice in-depth discussion about this, because I think this is something people need to look into. I always say, you know, people got to keep an open mind. A lot of people have what we like to call fear-based dogma, where they just believe one thing and they just don't want to believe anything else. They haven't looked into everything else, or they just say, "Oh, everyone knows the Earth's round." Well, do they? I mean, I haven't been in space myself, so I wouldn't know. You know, so in terms of that, so Dave's got a website called www.allegedlydave.com, and that's sort of how he's known, is Allegedly Dave. I first come across him on Extreme Health Radio a couple of years ago.
All right.
And I had you earmarked for a chat, and just going through my notes. So what you were talking about on there was urine therapy. Now this is going to be another topic that people are going to go, what the hell is urine therapy? Is that, and we're talking about drinking urine, we're talking about massaging it onto people's skin, and we'll go from there, because this is something that in the natural health world has been talked about for a long while, but it still is something that remains relatively. I mean, people talk about greens and smoothies and talk about probiotics and talk about detoxification and saunas, etc. But this is something that still remains a little bit sort of like undercover, or a little bit out there. Why do you reckon that is, Dave?
Well, because if everybody knew that they could heal themselves of absolutely anything with something that's free and freely available and always available, then there would be no medical establishment. There would be no pharmaceutical industry, because you have it all with you.
Yeah. I mean, there's actually a quote. I actually want to go into that. You've actually got a quote on your site. In fact, should we go? Yeah, but we'll go into it. We'll just go straight in. Why not?
Yeah.
And it says. I just have to go back up, I think. There is practically nothing that urine won't heal. Urine is said to be effective against the flu, the common cold, broken bones, toothache, dry skin, psoriasis and all other skin problems. It reverses aging and is helpful with AIDS, allergies, animal and snake bites, asthma, heart disease, hypertension, burns, cancer, chemical intoxication, chickenpox, enteritis, constipation and pneumonia. Urine is said to be effective against dysentery, edema, eczema, eye irritation, fatigue, fever, gonorrhea, gout, bloody urine, smallpox, immunological disorders, infections, infertility, baldness, insomnia, jaundice, hepatitis, leprosy, lymphatic disorder, urticaria, I don't know if I can say that, morning sickness, hangover, obesity, the papillomavirus, parasititis, gastric ulcers, rheumatism, birthmark, stroke, congestion, lumbago, typhus, gastritis, depression, cold sores, tuberculosis, tinnitus, Parkinson's disease, foot fungus, and diabetes and other endocrine-related diseases.
You can replace every one of those things with the word everything.
Yeah, exactly. I always like to say to people, the way you heal anything is the way you heal everything a lot of the time as well. And once you do that, like your disease isn't unique. It's just your predisposition to chronic illness, which comes out. So, how did you first get into urine therapy, Dave?
Well, 7 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, I was nearly 20 stone. I was very, very sick. I had chronic asthma. I had, my lungs were the lungs of a 70-year-old, I got told. Mm-hmm. I couldn't walk very well because I had an Achilles tendon operation, so I had pain up the back of my leg and nerve damage on the left side of my foot. I couldn't raise my arm above sort of shoulder height. I couldn't stand up for any length of time because my back would give out. I had very, very high blood pressure in stroke territory, apparently. High cholesterol. I had a whole list of things wrong with me. So I started looking for things, alternative health remedies, because the medical establishment was just making me worse. Just literally, every time I tried something they gave me, I just went down a notch.
Sounds like my story.
Yeah. So I was trying all these different things. Nothing seems to work. Homeopathy. I tried lots and lots of different things. And then one day I was at a festival, and me and my friends walked into this talk. This lady called Sylvia Chandler was giving about urine therapy. So we kind of walked into that talk like this. Tell us about drinking your piss, wee lady. And, after she started talking a while, we were like, wow, we're going to have to try this. And we all tried it the next day. And, 7 years on, we're all still doing it.
It is, I mean, for the normal person out there, people are going to say, drinking your own urine, I mean, that is, well, a lot of people say it's disgusting or like you're mad, because, I mean, isn't urine toxic waste that the body's producing? Like, why would you be putting back in toxic waste when that's something the body's getting rid of? Now, what would you say to those people?
Well, okay, you're given that impression for a reason, again, to keep you away from it. The truth of the matter is, it's not toxic waste at all. There's nothing toxic in it, whatsoever. What happens is the blood goes to the liver, and the liver takes out all the waste, all the viruses and pathogens or anything that shouldn't be in the blood. The liver takes it out. The purified blood from the liver then goes to your kidneys, and your kidneys are there to keep your blood in perfect balance. So if there's too much water in your blood, the excess water is screened out and placed in your bladder. So literally, if there's too much water in your blood, then your blood's not going to work efficiently. So your kidneys are there to keep your blood working efficiently. So, if there's too much vitamins, too much minerals, too much hormones, enzymes, all the good stuff, having too much is just as bad as having not enough. So all the excess goes into your bladder. Now, bear in mind, your body does not store waste. but you're storing urine in your bladder. And while it's in your bladder, your body is constantly reabsorbing all these amazing substances because it needs it. Right? So most people have had that experience where you've been dying to go to the loo and you get distracted, and then an hour later you realise you don't need to go. Yeah, you had that?
Yep.
Right, so that's where you've been distracted, your body's been reabsorbing that urine, okay, and now it's taken the pressure off the bladder and you don't feel that urge to go. Right? So when that storage facility is completely full, your body has no choice but to dump it overboard, because even though it needs all that stuff, it's now full up and there's nowhere else to store it. So, okay, I've got to dump it. So that's the only reason. And I kind of liken it to if the International Space Station was real, yeah, and they had a water machine that for some reason started overproducing water. Well, obviously they'd need water up there if it was all real. They'd need water, so they would start collecting that water in any containers they might have lying around, yeah, because they need that stuff. But if that machine kept on producing extra water, they'd still...
They wouldn't need them to keep the containers anymore. Could it keep on producing?
Well, no, I'm saying if they filled up all the containers, right, they had, and the machine was still producing water, well, they can't. There's nowhere to store it. So the all they can do is then dump it overboard.
Got you.
But if they were smart, they would freeze that water, with a tether in it, and then dump it overboard. And later on, if the machine is not producing enough, as much water, then they can reel it back in and take it back in.
Got you. Okay.
Which is what we're doing with urine therapy.
Right. And we'll get onto that because it's really interesting. I've got you said it's like one of the most studied parts of the medical industry. People don't even know about that, and people don't realise that everyone's been drinking urine. Everyone's done it because when you're a fetus, you're surrounded by it, and it's a really important part of the birthing process, or of being in the uterus and being surrounded by everything. So just quickly, then people will say, well, if that's true, then why aren't people eating their feces? What's the difference? Why is urine, obviously you're getting rid of it, the body doesn't need it. So why? I mean, wouldn't the same sort of mechanism work with the stool?
Well, I just explained that really. It's your urine is not waste. It's the good stuff that the body needs. Yeah, but you just happen to have too much of. Yeah, our lifestyle, our habits, our lifestyle, our environment causes us to overproduce certain things or underproduce certain things. Yeah, there's a case to be made for this idea that we don't actually need to drink water. If you're on a fruit diet, well, fruit is 90% water. Yeah, so you don't need to be drinking any extra water, but we do. We drink liquids all the time, and so we're taking in excess water, and that excess water ends up in the blood, and the body's got to do something with that excess water.
Yeah.
Waste is different. Waste is the exhaust products of the body, and mostly it's literally getting rid of food. The food doesn't do anything for us. Really doesn't do anything for us.
No.
The body is just getting rid of this from us, and so there's no point in consuming waste, even though there are people who are trying to make it so that you do, saying about fecal transplants and trying to build the flora and fauna of your gut by taking in shit basically.
Yeah.
But you don't need to do that. Your urine will build that up for you.
Yeah, I mean that's also because that's just once again looking for a magic bullet to a problem that people don't want to go in and look at themselves. So you said you don't need food. So I've heard Michael Tazarian talk about this as well before. Talk about how the body can live off itself, and people do that. But after a while, I mean, would you not die if you didn't have food?
Well, first of all, the body doesn't live off itself. that gives you the impression that it's like that the allopathic medical establishment actually tries to put forward that when you don't eat, then your body starts to eat itself. No, that doesn't work like that. As crazy as this might sound, and in my book I actually give you all the examples of this. Your body condenses light at a particular frequency for any of the substances it requires, exactly in the same way that trees do. Trees don't take up stuff from its roots and then and turn it into wood. No, it takes light, condenses it down to the frequency of wood, and that's what builds the tree up. We're not made of food. We are, our bodies build themselves up by condensing light to the substances it needs. We don't need to take in protein. This is a big argument that's always levelled against people who don't eat very much. They say, well, where are you going to get your protein from? Well, your body manufactures protein internally. And if you don't believe that, think of a cow. A cow only eats grass. There's no protein in grass. And yet, a beefsteak is packed with protein. Where does that protein come from? It was internally manufactured by the cow.
The cow has got 4 stomachs, right? So it can break down different grasses in different ways. I must ask it.
Yeah, no, but there's no protein in grass,
right?
At all. Doesn't matter how much you break it down. There's no protein there. So, where's that animal getting that protein from?
Yeah.
It's not from the grass. It's literally internally manufacturing it, and our bodies internally manufactures everything it needs. This idea that we could possibly lack things is another story that's given to us so that we are dependent. If we lack something, then we're dependent on those who provide it. Okay. So that's why this has been pushed on us.
100%. No, I completely agree with that. In terms of people not just eating the wrong food, they're eating far too much of it, and the only people that benefit are the food industry, and probably the medical industry, with the amount of rubbish food that people are eating. But
well, that's the thing. The food industry, as you say, is actually controlled by the same people who do the drug industry. And food is literally just a mechanism, or at least processed food is a mechanism to push their drugs, because the food causes symptoms. So the drug companies sell symptom suppressants, which also come with side effects, which cause other symptoms. So you have to go back and get other drugs, which also cause symptoms, and so on and so on and so on.
100%. So do you eat much yourself?
No, my routine's been sort of up in the air for just lately. But so I had an Indian a couple of days ago, and some chips a week before that. But generally, if I'm back in my usual routine, it's a piece of fruit every other day.
Yeah, and you don't feel lightheaded or dizzy? You got lots of energy?
No. The lightheadedness and dizziness, or whatever so-called symptoms you get if you fast for a long time, they are what are called a healing crisis. As you, and let me step back a second. We all think that eating food gives you strength, gives you energy. It's actually the opposite. Eating food takes energy away from the body. Just think, if you overeat at Christmas, how do you feel? You don't feel like energized, got all this food inside you. You feel energized and strong, let's go for a run, that sort of thing. No, you're like, oh, I can't move. It's because digesting food takes up around about 80% of the body's energy, right, just to get rid of the food you just put down there.
Yeah, it says like 75% of the body's calories daily just move from food from mouth to anus, right?
Right, and so if you overeat at Christmas, you put way too much food down there, that figure goes up to sort of like 90%. So literally there's not enough energy for you to even walk around. And that's why people end up going to sleep after a big meal or something. So when you stop eating, the first thing your body does is, because when you stop eating, you're not digesting anymore, then all that energy that you would use to digest food, and I said it's a lot, it's like 70 to 80%, will be now liberated. And the first thing your body does with that energy is, house cleaning. It's starting to get rid of toxins. It's starting to detox. So when you get headaches and colds or flu-like symptoms or whatever, essentially that's your body using that energy to detox. And as those toxins come out, they cause symptoms. Mm-hmm. But those aren't real. Those aren't a problem.
Okay,
it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, 100%. So if someone's just to talk a little bit more on this, if someone was like a sportsman or something like that, and they do a lot of exercise, would eating still be necessary then, or someone's build a physique? Like, because how would that play into this?
What, the building physique side of it, or
even both actually?
Or energy?
Someone who was like say a sportsman, etc. Would they need more food? So if they're playing if they're a football player, for example, or if someone is trying to build a physique, would they not need more food to create that physique?
No. Now, there was an example that I can give is a friend, one of my friends I was trying to help. She is a long distance runner, and in order to get over her medical issues, I told her that she needed to fast. And she said, "Well, I'm a runner, and I have a lot of races, coming up, so I need my food." So I convinced her finally to go on a fast just before her next race. Just so she can get to see what I'm talking about.
Mentally, that's quite tough for her as well, I bet.
Yes, it was. It was a very hard thing for her to do. Mm-hmm. But she actually did it. To her credit, she did it, and she ran the fastest race that she'd ever run. Mm. Right, simply because she had more energy to play with.
Yeah.
Now, if you're building a physique, and you've been, you're stuffing yourself full of calories and protein and stuff like that, and carbohydrates and whatever, a lot of that will be toxic. Yeah, a lot of them will be toxins that you're taking in. Okay, and what happens is, as you take in toxins, your body creates fat to surround those toxins. It's not that you eat fat and it goes on you. It's like you take in toxins, and as a method to protect the body from those toxins, it literally surrounds those toxins in fat, right? So it can't harm the body anymore. And so when you're trying to build your body up, and you're eating all these toxins, you're also putting fat on. Whether it's visible fat or invisible fat, you're literally putting fat on to store those toxins. Okay. When you start, fasting or any detox methodology, again, the first thing that happens is, you might lose weight because, you're going to be removing those toxins out of you, and the fat is no longer needed, so it disintegrates. Okay. So you might lose weight, you might feel symptoms, but literally if you sort of grit your teeth and push through any symptoms, then what happens is, once all the toxins are gone, the healing actually starts. And now that your body doesn't have that housekeeping business to go through, all the clearing all the toxins, now that extra energy, is available for you to use.
Yeah, and so, and when you're doing, so for example, I intermittently fast anyway. I generally eat around 1 or 2 o'clock. I had a bit of fruit a minute ago, then I'll have a meal later on. But during your fasting, so for example, you have done a fast, or you've actually done a urine fast, right? During your normal day, like, to get to the point where you are doing a urine fast, what did it take? You drink urine. So it was earlier on, just quickly. But earlier on, you said you have a bit of fruit every other day. Are you still drinking urine in between that?
I drink urine. I've been drinking urine 7 years non-stop.
So yeah.
And I do it. I literally only do it once or twice a day now.
Okay, and when's the best time to drink urine? Because a lot of people say the morning is the best because it's got the most nutrients in it, or the best energy in it. Other scientists or doctors have said it doesn't really matter. Every time any time of the day is good. What would your thoughts on this be?
It's always going to be the first one in the morning, because while you're asleep, you know, your body is resting. That energy is being used to produce all the things it needs. So, you know, your glands and stuff and your organs are like factories. You know, they switch on and then they switch off. Yeah, they switch on when the energy is available, and then they switch off. So literally they overproduce stuff, and that's why most people, when they wake up, first thing they're going to do is go to the toilet. Because they're literally the bladder is stuffed full of all this excess of the good stuff that it needs.
Okay, so for you went on a. I mean, I've got lots of stuff here. Like just for the listeners here. I mean, there's the China Urine Therapy Association claims that drinking urine can improve the body's ability to fight all diseases. And I've actually looked at research and see some doctor actually was able to cure a woman of AIDS from this, and. She actually had to go to court to prove she had AIDS because they didn't believe it. Said, no, we misdiagnosed her, even though she tested positive 7 times for AIDS previously. And so, I mean, there's actually a great book about AIDS. I think it's called Deadly Deception. I think it was by William. I'm trying to think, Dr. William. I have to look into that to you guys and get back to you. Deadly Deception, brilliant. He actually went around and said that you can't catch AIDS from sex and lots of stuff. He went around. He actually got AIDS patients. Withdrew their blood and injected it into himself live on the stage, and said you can't catch AIDS unless you get like a blood transfusion. There's other ways you catch it are from there's like 5 main ways you catch it, and lots of it is by living in poor areas with poor sanitation, like every disease. But it's an interesting.
And getting a vaccine.
And getting a vaccine. Well, this is the other thing he said. But yeah, I think me and you are best friends, mate. When it comes to that. But so with the urine, there's lots of different ways people are doing urine. They got urine pulling, got urine fasting, we've got urine massaging, eye washes. But just to start with, when you went on your urine fast, did you go straight from food into that, or did you come? How did you get into urine fasting? Was it quite a hard thing to do?
Yes. So what's gonna happen is that we have played a little recording of Dave Murphy. I know Dave Murphy's been here a few times, and one of the top health consultant out there, talking about urine therapy. And I must confess, when I first heard about the urine therapy, I said to myself, what kind of something is this? And then the more research I've done into it, and the more I get to speak to Dave, he actually break it down to me what the urine does. You know, or it goes into the system, into the liver, and what it do, it cleans the goes to the kidney, and there's a thing called stem cells, and then when you start taking that kind of empowers the whole body. Anyways, a whole science behind the whole thing about urine therapy. See, so what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna play some more recording of Dave Murphy, because trust me, that man is something else, something else, you know. And then what's gonna happen is that we have a sister who'll be phoning in, talking about health and talking about her restaurant in Seven Sisters there. So she'll be reasoning with us very shortly as well. And again, this is the Jammaster show, and today we're touching a little around health and well-being. And again, hope everybody's in good spirit. As you know, we started the year, and wish everybody again, by Blessed Radio, Happy New Year.
You know, you piss on them, or if you had acne, you'd wipe your face with urine, or they'll come out with all these things that they knew back then.
Now they'd say like there's a thing, isn't it? Like the jellyfish sting. If you get that, there's always a thing about your wee on that. Is that the same sort of hidden benefits because of that, or is it ammonia in it, or something?
Well, no, it's.
Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health, and apparently that of many others who have followed his lead through a rather unusual manner. by drinking his own urine. Dave Murphy says urine therapy has transformed his health, helped him lose weight, and even got rid of his asthma, and helps him maintain his youthful looks. Well, you do look very young, I suppose. I don't know how old you are, but how old are you?
54.
54.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon to you, and thank
Hello.
you so much for coming. Where do you even start with this?
When do you start? Well, I started because I went to a festival and somebody was talking about it. And I walked in with my friends with our arms folded, like, tell us about drinking your wee lady. And she gave this talk that made us walk out going, we're going to have to try this. And all of us tried it the next day. And 6 years later, to my knowledge, all 5 of us are still doing it to this day.
What? I can't imagine the kind of speech somebody might have to give that would encourage me to do that.
Give me 15 minutes with you and you'll be doing it tomorrow.
No, you can't. I give 15 minutes with me, you'd be climbing the walls. But I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be cider, yeah. I'd be drinking brandy, yeah. What? So did you have any reservation about it?
Well, when I first started, I was as squeamish as anybody else would be, yeah. I saw the health benefits from the talk. Yeah, I understood how it worked, and
how my body, which is a finely tuned thing, has developed a way of surviving. And what it does is I put food in, and it gets rid of waste. Part of that waste is urine. How is it that putting that back into my body is a good thing?
Because that's an erroneous interpretation. What happens is your blood goes to your liver screens out all the waste, all the viruses, toxins, whatever shouldn't be in the blood gets taken out by the liver. The purified blood goes to your kidneys, which are there to keep your blood in balance. So it siphons off all the excess of all the good stuff that's been carried along by your bloodstream. So the excess water, the excess minerals, vitamins, hormones, all the good stuff, because having too much of anything in the blood is just as bad as having not enough. So literally your urine is a snapshot of everything your body needs, but just happens to have too much of at that moment. And while it's sitting in your bladder, your body sometimes realizes it needs some of that stuff, so it will reabsorb it from the bladder, which is why some people have this experience where they're dying to go to the loo and they get distracted, and then an hour later they realize they don't need to go to the loo because, while they were distracted.
But you're talking about biology, man. You're talking about my body and how it's worked and how it's developed over thousands of years. You're not talking about me putting it in a glass and drinking it.
Well, this is when you see how this stuff works. It's amazing. So it's literally a way of getting all the good stuff that you need into the outside of you for outside use. I mean, if you cut yourself. You can try this, Nick. If you cut yourself... No. No, if you ever cut... No, I don't mean just go out and cut yourself. No. I mean, if you ever get a cut, put the urine on it straight away. Yeah, immediately it will stop bleeding.
That's because...
Within a minute, it will heal over.
Yeah, well, that's because it works as an antiseptic, doesn't it? It works as a disinfectant. It takes out the germs. That's how it works. It's not meant to drink it.
Do you know how it works? Well, I've been studying it for the last 8 years. Yeah,
right.
It works. Some of it works because it's got stem cells in it for one thing. The stem cells that literally roam around the body looking for things to repair.
Tell me before I bring in the doctor, who I'm imagining is chomping at the bit to
I'm
get.
Sure.
Good evening to you. This is Drive Time here on BBC Radio London, frequency 94.9. So I'm going to talk to Dave Murphy now. Dave is in the studio with me. Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health, and apparently that of many others who have followed his lead through a rather unusual manner, by drinking his own urine. Dave Murphy says urine therapy has transformed his health, helped him lose weight, and even got rid of his asthma, and helps him maintain his youthful looks. Well, you do look very young, I suppose. I don't know how old you are, but how old are you?
54.
54. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for coming. Where do you even start with this?
When you start? Well, I started because I went to a festival and somebody was talking about it. And I walked in with my friends with our arms folded, like, tell us about drinking your wee lady. And she gave this talk that made us walk out going, we're going to have to try this. And all of us tried it the next day. And 6 years later, to my knowledge, all 5 of us are still doing it to this day.
What? I can't imagine the kind of speech somebody might have to give that would encourage me to do that.
Give me 15 minutes with you and you'll be doing it tomorrow.
No, you can't. I give 15 minutes with me, you'd be climbing the walls. But I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be cider, yeah. I'd be drinking brandy, yeah. What? So did you have any reservation about it?
Well, when I first started, I was as squeamish as anybody else would be, yeah. I saw the health benefits from the talk. Yeah, I understood how it worked, and
how my body, which is a finely tuned thing, has developed a way of surviving. And what it does is I put food in, and it gets rid of waste. Part of that waste is urine. How is it that putting that back into my body is a good thing?
Because that's an erroneous interpretation. What happens is your blood goes to your liver screens out all the waste, all the viruses, toxins, whatever shouldn't be in the blood gets taken out by the liver. The purified blood goes to your kidneys, which are there to keep your blood in balance. So it siphons off all the excess of all the good stuff that's been carried along by your bloodstream. So the excess water, the excess minerals, vitamins, hormones, all the good stuff, because having too much of anything in the blood is just as bad as having not enough. So literally your urine is a snapshot of everything your body needs, but just happens to have too much of at that moment. And while it's sitting in your bladder, your body sometimes realizes it needs some of that stuff. So it will reabsorb it from the bladder, which is why some people have this experience.
Yes. So, the play recording of Dave Murphy. And as I said, he's been in the studio here talking about the whole thing about health and the truth about cancer. And there's 3 things he pushes: the still water, the urine therapy, and one thing he says that stop taking the stuff what poisoning you. Yeah, and he recommends fasting. And if you take on that on board, that push you to the ultimate health. It's a start. So what's gonna happen is that we do have Jams inside the host, right? And he'll be talking about consciousness, the high level of consciousness. I know Jams is one of the amazing individuals out there. In fact, the Jammaster show is around jammers scene. And he was touching on thing about the Bible. We're just going to bear in mind there will be a phone call from a sister who has a restaurant on Seven Sisters. She phoned in last week, if I'm not mistaken. Last week, I think she phoned in and talking about the vegan restaurant she has. And this is a very beautiful sister, got a lovely spirit about her. And okay, then what I want to do, I want to bring Jammers into the mix straight away, because as you know, the man depend missions and missions and missions. Jammers, we have to just bring you into the mix right about now, Bridget.
Boom, respect, Dougie, and Happy New Year, Dougie. Yeah.
Happy New Year to the man still,
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
And to the blessed community, management, DJs, Raggedy in the house, still in the studio.
Yes.
Yeah, so big Happy New Year to Raggedy as well.
See.
So it's all about, fulfillment this year. That's what it's all about still, starting to action, positive action to get results. No more talking and preaching, man. It's time to start to claim what we're supposed to have,
All right, fantastic. So What you gonna bring to the table, man? So you gonna talk about consciousness, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch a little bit about consciousness, a little bit about the Bible, a little bit about how you can activate your future. You know, first I want to touch the history, because everything's supposed to be in a history book. Well, the earliest history book was by Herodotus.
Okay, then. Jammers is for. All right, Jammers is just gonna take a call, right? Like a very important call, right? But he's gonna be touching the whole thing about consciousness. Also, be touching the whole thing about the Bible as well. And you know, Jammers has done a lot of research in that particular department, especially the whole thing about words. He spoke at the West Indian Culture Center, etymology, the root, and talk about the root of words, and that went down very, 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 very well. You know, a lot of people came up to him and they really enjoyed what he had to say. But just a little background about Jammers, that he's an author, he's a poet, he's a stand-up comedian, he's a DJ. In fact, he's a full-time DJ, right? And he's a lecturer as well. So this man has so much substance behind him in terms of what he has to say. And what he does a lot and he's a researcher, because when he comes to the table here, he does a lot of research and he brings certain facts and information to us, you know. So this someone has a wealth of information. And just to let people know that he was very much, well, in fact, he was one who brought over Saraseti, who was here October this year. Sorry, last year rather, in 2000, last year. You know, it just seemed like the other day, but it was last year. See, so this man here has done so much things, and again, the Speakers Club, where you would say it's his baby, and he's one who's instrumental putting that together and elevating the Speaker Club. So that's Jammers for you in a nutshell in terms of about him. Yeah. So Jammers, you don't want no more disturbance now.
I had to switch off the phone, but I've been here 1 second and the phone will ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what I want to start at the start. And when you talk about history, you got to look at the earliest history book by Herodotus. Yeah, Herodotus was a Greek historian who wrote on ancient history, and he wrote a lot about Kemet. And so look at, when you talk about history, that's the book to go to. And the first, in the first, I think it's the first or second chapter, he talks about Egypt. And what he says about Egypt is they were the fathers of the calendar. You know, so they were the fathers of the calendar that we're using now. They started a 30-day calendar. So that they were the ones. So the time that we're using now, as you can see, we're still using ancient Kemet up to a level of how we use the calendar. And partly as well, what they've done is astronomy. So basically, the Egyptians studied astronomy, and from astronomy, they formulated the calendar. Now, astronomy is the study of the time, and it's the study of predicting the future. You know, so basically, this is the power that we need to get back into, that you can actively predict the future. You can map out what the future is. And what's happened is that Western, with either with their lack of knowledge or they're purposely designed to contaminate our ancient knowledge, you know, they've warped the information, you know, and mixed it up and given us used it in a way to control us. Basically, like the basic way to control an animal is to take it out of its natural environment and put it in an environment that it has no control over. I respect that, yeah. And so that this is what they've done to us as well. What they've done, they've put in our minds the belief that we have no control over the future through this religion, that we have to wait until we die before we get things, you know, to throw away all our riches and our land, you know, and wait for somebody to come out of the sky to be the cure of our problems. So they've used this religion now to stop us being able to predict the future, taking away our power, you know.
Okay then. So, Jammers, where can people get this information from? Because I know you do a lot of research. Where can people get the information from?
Well, I'll have to bring in the information next week. Where I got one is one of the I'll give. Well, the first one is the histories by Herodotus. That's spelled Herodotus. So that's the first book, history. If you want to know about ancient history on Egypt, and that's from a Greek perspective. So if somebody, someone comes to beat, if someone wants to attack you, sometimes you have to beat them with their own stick.
Yeah, for beat them with their own stick. For real. Okay then. So what we're gonna do now? We are expecting a call very shortly as well from a sister. We're talking about health, and I said have a vegan restaurant. We're trying to encourage people to go there and support. Very powerful sister. So she'll be joining us in about 10-15 minutes. What I want James to do is talk a little bit about the Bible and the whole thing about God, because again he done a lot of work in that particular areas where a lot of research. Yeah. So how does the consciousness and the God and the Bible, how does that relate to
Well, basically, the study of astronomy is not really astronomy. That's the Western man's putting his name on it. It's science. It's the study of the science of time.
Right.
And how nature and time and motion and force and matter work. So this science now has been turned into religion because Kemet never used the word religion. It just studied nature. The Medu nature means it's the study of nature. So when you look at the way that the ancient Africans or Ethiopians broke down the science of nature, you can see how it's been mistranslated into the Bible. When you look at the Bible and you compare it with how the ancient Kemet worked on astronomy, worked out astronomy, then you can see that it's a the Bible has been mistranslated, badly mistranslated, for because when ancient Kemet was talking about science, they was talking about how they operate. They was talking about how to it was understood. They was trying to develop an understanding of themselves through the study of astronomy and how time works and how they can become empowered. That's how they was able to build the pyramids and perform or elevate themselves to being the masters of civilization. So it was a study of within.
I want to just jump in here because Brother Vasco done a presentation where he looks at the whole thing about astrology and the Bible, how it relates together. It was a very interesting presentation. So it's good to when I hear you speaking now, how you seem to tie it all in together. But I just want to jump forward when we're talking about God. I mean, how do you? What's your view on God, or is there a God, or just get that out of the way first.
Well, God. Basically, before you can study another, especially an ancient culture or culture other than yourself, you have to practice philology. If you don't practice philology, then you're already on the wrong boat. Philology, that means you've got to have the consciousness or live in the time of the event of the people that you're trying to analyze. So you have to have their consciousness. You have to work out how it was like to live in their times, or what level of consciousness did they have when they were applying their principles. What the Western man has done, he's put his consciousness on top of ancient consciousness, and badly mistranslated. Because as I said, God is a German. God is a German. It's not no ancient word. There was no God word. God never existed in ancient time.
God is a German.
God is a German, and the concept of the God principle is taken from a Western perspective. It's an outward emotion. It's an outward concept. It's basically how the Westerner looks at God. He's looking at something outside of himself. Basically, the Westerner sees he has a lack by nature. He's burnt by nature. The natural element that he lives in is punishing him. It burns him. It rejects him. So the Western man looks at the whole God's concept from an outward perspective. He feels that he's been rejected by nature. He feels that he's been born into sin. So that way he stops himself breeding by putting all the women in nunneries, all the men as monks, practices celibacy because he believes that he's a reject of society, and the religion that he's developed is what he feels that he needs to do to get back inside with nature. We're a people of nature. We're not outside of nature. Nature is within us. So our concept of the science of nature is a total different concept from the Westerners' concept of God. God is a German.
Right. Okay then. So when we're talking about God, I mean, when people say to you, Jammers, that goes in the sky, or goes up there somewhere, how do you deal with them kind of reasoning,
Well, I'll just take what General Seti said. I agree with him entirely that man makes God in his image. It's not the other way around. God walk, God talk, God sleep, and so you said God, man makes God in his image. And up to now you never see this walking, talking God that everybody's talking about.
Right, absolutely.
And you can't put the word God next to it's a sin to put the word God next to the scientific and any ancient Egyptian scientific principle. That's a sin. To use that word God is a sin. When you're studying ancient chemic science.
Right. Right.
So basically it's a science of within. It's the science of this. Basically, we are a micro of the macro. So everything that is in the stars is within us. So when you study nature, you're actually studying yourself. So basically, the ancient chemic science was a study of nature to know what you had within you. So I'll give you for instance. There was 4 names to the sun. The first name of the sunrise was called Horus. Yeah, so Horus was when the sun rose. It was called the sunrise was called Horus. That's where you get the word horizon. So the word horizon or horizon comes from the sun rising. That's where you get the word horoscope. Scope is like a telescope, is where you see the start of the sunrise. So horizon is where you see the sunrise. So when the sun rises up, then it gets to the top. That's where the sun's called Ra or Ray. And Ray comes from the word king or reigning or raise. So the sun radiates when it goes to the top. So it starts from, so it rises like a hero. A hero is somebody who's trying to battle against the odds. So the sun rises to the top, then it becomes Ra or Re. Then it sets, then the sun sets. So basically that's how you get the word, that's how you get set. And then when it goes right to the bottom, then you get Osiris. So the sun has 4 names. So this is basically, let me break down the mistranslation of the Bible. Heaven, where is heaven? Where do you think heaven is?
Well, heaven is how you make it. Heaven's in the mind, right? I say heaven's in the mind.
Well, you got it 100% right. Basically, heaven, the place of nothingness, is in your mind. The heaven that is mistranslated by the Western Christianity is in your mind. The place of nothingness is in your mind. So that's where your mind has the force of nothingness. And from nothingness, you have your voice, your inner voice. So you can quiet your mouth and cuss someone without saying. So as Edison will say, who's that voice that's cussing when you're not even using your mouth? That's the word that they're talking about in the Bible. So in the beginning there was nothing, there was a nothingness, and then the word manifested. So basically your inner voice creates emotion. So for out of nothingness you have an inner voice. The inner voice creates emotion. The emotion makes matter. The matter manifests itself into physical matter. So that's what they're talking about, the heaven.
The heaven. Okay then. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a very short break. Yeah. And then we were expecting a phone call by a sister who runs the restaurant in Seven Sisters scene. So what I want to do, I want to play a little bit more of Dave Murphy. We're having a very short break. And then we continue the reasoning with Jammers, because you know Jammers, they're on a roll. The man is a roller man, you know. And etc. Okay.
Here we go.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Have you got a health issue that just won't go away no matter what you try? Then welcome to the Revive Yourself podcast, where we reveal the secrets to long-lasting health by getting to the root cause of problems that no one else is talking about. So you can have more energy, clear skin, healthier hair, a leaner physique, more confidence, and most importantly, do the things you love and live the life you deserve. Here's your host, Ryan Martin.
So guys, welcome to episode 62. I hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good time and everyone's happy and everyone's healthy. As always, there's been lots going on recently, especially with the topic of Alfie Evans, poor Alfie Evans. I put a video out on that. You can find that on YouTube, on our YouTube page, if you go to Revive Yourself on YouTube. And also if you add me on my Facebook or our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Revive Natural Health, that'll be on there. We'll be talking about that in a few episodes to come. We're going to get Jason Christoph back on, Terry Tillard, talking about what happens when you sign birth certificates, basically giving up all your rights to your child. We'll be talking about different types of programming that they've got going on, so this will be really interesting. And as always guys, still the free 4-day mini course over at www.reviveyourself.co is going strong, which is brilliant. So today's episode, I want to get into it with you. It's a guy that I first come across on Extreme Health Radio, and his name is Dave Murphy. He's got a website called www.allegedlydave.com, and we're going to be talking all about urine therapy. Yeah, that's right. Ryan's finally taken a deep dive off of the beer, and he's talking about urine therapy. Now, I mean, we'll be going to it with Dave. Urine therapy has been around for a long, long time. It's only since 1940s they took it out of the medical literature for healing people. So, without further ado, here's Dave, here's the episode, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 62 of the Revive Yourself podcast. Today we have a very interesting guest, Dave Murphy. He's actually in Birmingham at the moment. He's actually also another Essex boy originally, just down the road from myself. And we're going to be talking all about urine therapy. But he's just told me he's actually in Birmingham at the moment, where he's been talking at the Flat Earth Convention. How's that gone, Dave?
Actually went very, very well indeed. We ended up, one of the things we had going on there was we had a debate against some astrophysicists. And we'd actually trapped them. We checkmated them a couple of times. It was brilliant.
Really? Is that going to be available to watch anywhere or buy anywhere, or is it only conventions?
No, it will be. I think in the next couple of days, they're going to be putting out the videos. But that debate will be one to watch because
awesome.
it was great. We had them stumped. They ended up looking at each other and thinking, okay.
It's anyone who hasn't really looked into the flat Earth. I mean, people think it's all like tinfoil hat, and people are crazy. And they talk about NASA. A lot of people don't realise that those NASA images are actually. I mean, they're actually just. They're not real. They're fake. It's similar to they talk about the dinosaurs at the History Museum. They're not actually real bones. They're actually all replica bones. And people don't actually realise this. They think that because why would you? If you don't know, you don't know. You just believe things were, and it's something we get on. So where will those videos be released, Dave?
As I said, I don't really know yet. I just got told that in the next couple of days they'll start releasing them.
Cool.
But I guess if you start searching YouTube in the next couple of days for Flat Earth UK Convention, you'll find them.
Awesome. Well, and I'll give you a message, and hopefully we can get that out there. And we will get you back on. We'll have a nice in-depth discussion about this, because I think this is something people need to look into. I always say, people got to keep an open mind. A lot of people have what we like to call fear-based dogma, where they just believe one thing and they just don't want to believe anything else. They haven't looked into everything else, or they just say, "Oh, everyone knows the Earth's round." Well, do they? I mean, I haven't been in space myself, so I wouldn't know. You know, so in terms of that, So Dave's got a website called www.allegedlydave.com, and that's sort of how he's known, is Allegedly Dave. I first came across him on Extreme Health Radio a couple of years ago.
All right. Okay.
And I had you earmarked for a chat, and just going through my notes. So what you were talking about on there was urine therapy. Now this is going to be another topic that people are going to go, what the hell is urine therapy? Is that, and they talk about drinking urine, they're talking about massaging it onto people's skin, and we'll go from there, because this is something that in the natural health world has been talked about for a long while, but it still is something that remains relatively, I mean, people talk about greens and smoothies and talk about probiotics and talk about detoxification and saunas, etc., but this is something that still remains a little bit sort of like undercover, or a little bit out there. Why do you reckon that is, Dave?
Well, because if everybody knew that they could heal themselves of absolutely anything with something that's free and freely available and always available, then there would be no medical establishment. There would be no pharmaceutical industry, because you have it all with you.
Yeah. I mean, there's actually a quote. I actually want to go into that. You've actually got a quote on your site. In fact, should we go? Yeah, but we'll go into it. We'll just go straight in. Why not?
Yeah.
And it says. I should have to go back up, I think. There is practically nothing that urine won't heal. Urine is said to be effective against the flu, the common cold, broken bones, toothache, dry skin, psoriasis, and all other skin problems. It reverses aging and is helpful with AIDS, allergies, animal and snake bites, asthma, heart disease, hypertension, burns, cancer, chemical intoxication, chickenpox, enteritis, constipation, and pneumonia. Urine is said to be effective against dysentery, edema, eczema, eye irritation, fatigue, fever, gonorrhea, gout, bloody urine, smallpox, immunological disorders, infections, infertility, baldness, insomnia, jaundice, hepatitis, leprosy, lymphatic disorder, urticaria, I don't know if I can say that, morning sickness, hangover, obesity, the papillomavirus, parasititis, gastric ulcers, rheumatism, birthmark, stroke, congestion, lumbago, typhus, gastritis, depression, cold sores, tuberculosis,
yes, Dougie,
tinnitus,
yes.
Parkinson's disease.
Once again, we're back in tune. Thursday special here.
Yes, we're here just vibing out the Jammaster show, and as I said, that we're here to give the truth, nothing but the truth and the absolute truth. And again, Happy New Year to everybody from
feel
Bless.
like missing a quote, you know.
Yeah. So we just go into the vibes now, because as you said earlier on, we play a little bit of Dave Murphy, who is a health man, a health consultant, and he's got a book out called The Truth About Cancer, and his thing is quite simple: urine therapy, still water, drinking loads of still water, eating a lot of fruits, and stop eating things what's poisoning you. You know, he keeps it simple as that. And one of the things we'll be talking about over the next, from time to time, you know, the whole thing about health, because your health is your wealth. So it's very important that, you know, we're on target on that. As I said, they do have a sister who do have a vegan restaurant, and these sisters, they're twins, very beautiful sisters in terms of their spirit, very warm, very entertaining. When you go and they make you feel home, man. Don't say no more. Don't say no more, you know. And James, I know that you've been down there twice now. I've seen you down there. Yeah, I mean, I've been there 3 times, so the 2 times I bump up down there. So it's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that is excellent. I must recommend North London's finest vegan restaurant. You know, absolutely, the food is fantastic. You know, and plus as well the hosts, you know, fantastic as well. You know, I don't think you can find a better place in North London to eat proper food now.
That's right. That's right, and at a reasonable price. You know, because one of the things we were struggling is to find a decent place. I use the word decent, where a vegan restaurant, you know, there's not many I know of. There's a couple down Dalston, mostly around Dalston. There's a few of them down Hackney and Central London, you know, but around here it's not many at all. I don't know any at all, to be honest with you. And yeah, so I'm hoping that they will grow from strength to strength. Yes, Jammers.
Yeah, and even greater is actually you're finding a place where they actually like to serve you food, because you know most of our Caribbean restaurants, it's like they don't want to give you no food. You know, you get a screw face and a kiss teeth as soon as you walk into the place. You know,
and you know, we could look at it and we might smile and say, but is it true to what Jam's just saying? You know, because most people experience that. Sometimes they don't want you to be, like say, they don't want you to be in there. In fact, they're cussing you for you to be in there. In fact, you're spending money with them. It's like say, yeah, it's kind of it's a strange one. It's a very strange one. You know, I don't know how to get my head around this one here at all. But yes, it's a crazy one.
You know, it's like the more screw face you have, the better quality food you must be serving, because like you don't want to give it away. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. But hopefully we'll have sister will be phoning and give us some information and let people know where she is, and also she's very up to speed when it comes to the whole thing about health as well.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to hear what they've got to say about the comments of Dave Murphy and his urine therapy.
European therapy. We might have to leave that one side for the time being, because well, it won't be right now, but when Dave's around, we like to get Dave to talk about a little bit about the whole thing about the urine therapy, and get his give his take on all of this again, you know. But you know, it's quite interesting if you do your research that it's not new, you know. It's been going for thousands of years, and excuse me, a lot of people all over the world probably are on the urine therapy. Trust me, by that.
Well, the only thing I haven't seen it in my research, I haven't seen no hieroglyphs on the pyramid. So I'd be interested to, you know.
Would that be very?
I can see the external uses of it, but
yeah,
I think our creator's given us so much fantastic food. You know, it's like the vegan restaurants. So, and we're kings and queens as well. You know, we're kings and queens, and I just can't see that was designed for us to have that thing, unless it's in an emergency, you know what I mean?
Okay then. So it's good to get Jammer's perspective, and it's good to get his perspective. And like I said before, that I mean, he looks at it, because Jammer's a man does a lot of research still. I know when he gets head around, he probably do a lot of research and give some more information on that. Yeah. You know, all right, Jammer. So you're going to bring some more information?
Yeah, so basically what I was talking about is a mistranslation of the so-called Bible by the Western societies, a corruption of high scientific principles from ancient Kemet. So basically what I was firstly said is that in ancient Kemet, and this is documented in ancient Greek historian Herodotus, I've got to get the pronunciation of that name. Herodotus' book, The Histories, it's documented that so-called Egyptians were first on record to create the calendar, what we're using now, and in relation to creating the calendar, they used the science of astrology, which is basically the study of nature at a higher level. And with this study of nature at a higher level, they was able to map out a manner of living that gave them a high standard of living, where they could actually, they still can't even work out how the pyramids have been made now. So they had a high level of code of conduct, and the ability to sort of define how civilization is run. They actually defined the sciences, geometry, navigation, astronomy, brain surgeon, you know, all of these aspects of high sciences is what they developed. And basically part of that science has been corrupted and put into a religious format, where basically the study of astrology really, or the so-called God principle, is a study of your inner self, your inner creative energy, and how to manifest yourself to your highest form. This is what it's really about. But Western, as I said before, the Western, as an outsider looking into the ancient sites, it's mistranslated it to be something outwardly. That there's the God is external, and you've got to wait for this external force to come into your life to manifest yourself. But basically, if your father or mother is divinity, and you're the son of the father or mother, then you have the ability to manifestate divinity in yourself through the energies that's been put inside of you. So basically, when you look at the word Solomon, that's a mistranslation, because Solo, Amun is the Kemetic word for the hidden inside of you, the soul, the hidden soul. So they use Solomon as an external man, the wisest one, but your inner soul is the wisest aspect of you. Sol Amun, the soul Amun, the hidden, and reading is from right to left. So basically, it's Amun, soul, the hidden soul is the wisest aspect of you.
Okay then. So again, Jammers, that information we get the information from.
Well, you can get that from the history. Well, you can't even get this information. You just have to stay listening to this station.
Station. I said, "Well, this kind of information.
You got to listen to this station to get this information. So basically, it's your hidden aspects. Basically, the heaven is in your head, and hell is your lower energies. Your lower energies is the hell. So the gluttony, the addiction, your lack of control of yourself. That's the hell. The heaven is your higher ability. Your wisest Solomon, your wise aspect, your hidden soul is your soul Amun, your hidden soul. So when you go inwardly, you have an all-knowing about you. Sometimes you know this thing's wrong, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. So you've got a hidden advisor, but we've got so much distractions that now you're no longer hearing your hidden advisor that's telling you, what to do.
So, Jammers, in terms of coming back to yourself, how did you get involved in the whole thing of words and research and all this? Yeah.
Well, I said I was in a serious, stressful condition, where you go. Sometimes when you go beyond what you think you're capable of, that's when you get into a next level. And basically, as I said, I was living in a van for a couple of years, and it came to a time when I ran out of money, and I was going into Sainsbury's, and I couldn't buy either cheese or bread. And I was trying to I said, why, this is where life has come to this, what I mean? And then I started to look inwardly,
All right. So that's where you start to look deep within oneself and
question everything.
I see what you're saying.
And when you question till you can't question no more, that's when you actually get to the source of things.
Get to the source of stuff.
And then I all questioned, and it broke down the words. Then I realized that words, there's hidden meanings in words, and then when you look at one word, they just give you all the letters together. But inside the letters, there's words, and the actual words have the real meaning of the word.
So, when there's if you look at a word and there's a sound in the word, and I'm still thinking of an example. Well, the sound gives you the what's the sound mean then?
Well, firstly, before we get to that person, we've been told the lie that we're looking at English, the words in English. That's a lie. We're looking at Latin. It's not English words. It's Latin.
It's Latin words.
So basically, it's like you've been told you're reading Spanish, but it's really French. So you're going to look at the Spanish, but you're never going to know that it's French. So basically, we're not looking at English words. It's Latin words, and it's little Latin words make up the one word. Like, so you've got the word revolve. So re in Latin means to go back. Volve in Latin means to turn. And then you've got to read it back to front. That's another trick they do. So read, the actual word read means to look backwards. Re means to go back. Ad means to move to something. So it's to the back of something. Read actually means to look back. So when you've got the word revolve, it's not English, it's two Latin words. What the first Latin word is re, which means to go back. The second Latin word is volve, which means to turn. And then you've got to say it backwards to know, it's all in the code. So you've got to say turn back. So the word recall, you've got to say it backwards because it means to call back. You see what I'm saying? So basically, we've been told a lie. It's Latin. And that's why all the top people, they go to a grammar school to learn the Latin.
Oh, that's interesting. All the top people. We say top people who
From
are
the elite aristocracy. They go to grammar.
They go to
grammar school to learn Latin, to learn the code.
Oh, okay, then. That's that. To learn the Latin, to learn the code.
To learn the code.
That's yeah. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Right. But come back to the words. I heard you talk about the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
What's so significant, so important to understand the sounds in the word? Does it give the clue that?
Yeah, when you know Latin, then you start to hear the Latin in the words.
So an example would be.
I'll go back to I'll say, everybody knows a fire extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
But we get these symbols, but how does extinguisher equal the job that it does? Because what extinguisher is, a piece of metal that the water comes out of.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the word extinguish, you'll see the word ex. Ex in Latin means to come out or leave. Like your ex is someone you've left.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got tin.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the word extinguisher. You got out of a tin, which is what the fire extinguisher does. What happens? Water. Then you've got gush.
Yeah.
The water gushes out.
Gushes out. Yeah.
So that it gushes out of a tin. That's what the fire. That's the word. That's what extinguish really means. It means something. It gushes out of a tin.
Right.
In Latin. You see, so they've totally made us blind, deaf, and dumb by telling us a lie that that is English language when it's not. It's a Latin. We're looking at Latin words. That's why doctors use Latin.
No, it's true. Very
Law
true.
uses Latin.
Yeah.
Sciences use Latin.
Yeah.
Aviation, aircraft pilot uses Latin, and Latin it's like a surgeon. It's exact language. Exact. There's no meanings in it because you can't go off course when you're driving.
But Jamma, just to jump in there, just to support what you're saying, that if you look at law, and correct me if if I'm misrepresenting information, please correct me, Jamma. Is that if you look at law, and I think you did say that law is in Latin, right? And remember you said earlier on that the elitist people they go to grammar school to learn Latin and learn the code, right? Now, they kind of ties what you're saying because, law is Latin and there's more of a code
it's called the Code of Law.
Code of Law. right.
And you look at it.
Right.
Where do all the top people work? As lawyers, as judges, as aviators, as doctors, as physicians, as psychiatrists. So all the top people learn Latin and study in the professions that deal with the Latin code.
And it kind of ties in the old thing about straw man and common law and all that kind of stuff there, because all that is again is it's about law, and at the same time there's certain code as well in all of this stuff here. Unless you understand Latin, like as Jamma said, right? If you understand Latin, then you understand the code. Right, am I right in saying that, Jamma?
Yeah, basically it's also a test, because if you start to use the right codes, and they know that you know the codes, then they're back off of you. Yeah, so everything is a code. Everything, even if you go into the local barbers, it's a code. Yeah, where I say code. Yeah, yeah. You see, if you don't know that, then you don't know the code. So it's a natural phenomenon that we make up codes. When a group of people get together. Look at the youth. They use it. What you saying, mate? You're all right. You know what I mean? Or so or the man's them. So basically, peng. It's everything is a code. Everything groups get together. It's a way of communicating, but then it's communicating at speed, and also, they design it to keep hidden.
Well, that's why law is very important, and I'll give an example very quickly. I know Jam's going to make some more points in terms of reference. To turn what Jam was saying, that I was speaking to Clyde, and he was saying that he was on the train, right? And I think the inspectors must have come on and asked him for his ticket. So he goes to the man, but look here, I have no business with you, I have no contract with you, right? So the man looked at it, right? So he goes, it's not. I've got my ticket, right? But I have no business with you. I have no contract with you, right? So everybody's looking at it because he's on the train, everything, right? So he started quoting out some laws and everything that to leave him alone, right? But if they said to him to prove it, no, this is why they're not wise enough. They said to prove it. It's a different argument, right? You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
He goes to him, listen, you know, I have no contract with you. You know, prove to me I've got to take up my, you know what I mean?
It's all a con. Was it in what's the book again? Chancellor Williams. Yeah, in the Chancellor Williams book, that's what they basically when one nation conquers another nation, they take away the land, they take away the property, they take away the wealth. But the main thing that they do to us is that they got to make you believe that they're superior to you. So the basic thing about law is one person is trying to make you believe that he's superior to you. You know, and that you have to do what he says. You know, when we're all born on the same as equals. But one man's trying to make you believe that they're superior. And especially when it comes to the current circumstances of the royal family. I mean, what makes them royal? What makes you have to kiss their foot and or bow down to them? Why do you have to bow down to someone who breathes flesh and blood just like you? What kind of illusion have they created to make people worship these people? You know, and basically, when you check the history of English, it comes from German. It means German, and an angle is the land at angle. So its angle is bent or crooked. You know, a German were Gauls, and Gauls were barbarians. You know, so how all of a sudden can a German suddenly become royal? You know, that's a lie in itself. The royal family is a lie.
Royal family is a lie. Okay then. So, you know, we do have the Jammaster inside the host giving us some information, the whole thing about law and language. So what do you have on the program now?
I'm just going to touch a little bit about, break down a bit about the religion. So basically what I'm saying is they've taken our ancient science, they've twisted and warped it or mistranslated it, and this is what is keeping us in a state where a state of belief, where we're sitting here hoping and waiting for something to happen. We've been doing this since they've given us the Bible. Actually, you know, we've been waiting. You know, we've had generations on generations that have lived and gone, waiting for a belief to happen, while other races, you know, are doing exceedingly well without this belief system. I mean, we had land, and then they gave us the Bible. Now we've got the Bible, and they've taken our land. You know, so it's, as I said, what it's done is gotten into our mind and stop us become self-defining. Every animal defines itself. Even a ant will wake up in the morning and know what it needs to do to maintain itself and preserve itself. You know, the basic insects know what to do. You know, and we as so-called the highest form of human beings, a species, we do not know what we need to do to create another Black Wall Street, even though it's been done before. We don't know how to put our finances together, you know, to buy land, to grow products, to make even toilet paper, buy shoes. You know, we used to be the masters of all of these things. But now, through this belief system, you know, we're prepared to wait for somebody else to create for us this so-called our own destiny. You know, when every other nation, if you go to the local corner shop now, you'll see that someone who's barely been in this country for 2 minutes, they've got so much food in their shop, you know, and when you go and look in your fridge, you ain't got anything. You know, so what is it that we're not doing that everybody else seems to be doing? And we're the most religious people on the planet. You know, so there's something wrong going down somewhere. You know, when someone who can't even speak the language has got more products in their shop than you've got in your fridge. You know, what are we doing wrong? You know, there's something definitely seriously going on that's been affecting us mentally. You know, and it's not even affecting us mentally, it's affecting us spiritually. Because it's a spiritual attack. This warped translation has given us a warped sense of reality. You know, where we're gonna invest our money in somebody else to give us clothes.
So would you say then that is this spiritual warfare we're under attack?
Yeah, basically what you do to domesticate any animal, you've got to break its spirit. You know, you have to break the animal spirit to rebuild it to how you want. So you take a wild horse, especially watch a Western movie. They take the wild ass. Or what did they do with the wild horse?
Yeah, man, they break it down, man. They
ride that horse until it hasn't got no spirit left. You know, that's what they done in slavery. They take the strongest male, you know, tie him to 2 horses and make the horses run in separate directions. You know what I mean? And they done that with the strongest woman as well. You know, so that the first thing you have to do is break the spirit, and then put something in place to keep that spirit broken. You know, and then put out, well, especially if you look at society now, all ahead, there's no black family images. I ain't seen one. Go on the underground, look everywhere. You're not going to see a black male and a black female together as a family unit. They invested in giving the women properties to live in, and the man couldn't go to the house. You know, because they know if they making that investment for 10 years, they know for the next 40 years there's going to be an imbalance where the female doesn't need the male no more. You know, and it's going to cause an imbalance in the male-female relationship. You know, so the first thing you have to do is break the spirit. So basically what they've done, they've created this warped version of, you know, as I said before, it's like, you know, you've got a car, someone stole the car, resprayed it, and then come to your house and it's going to help you drive around in your car to look for your car, and they've got the resprayed car. So we know there's something about this Bible. That's why we're addicted to it, because we know it's our things. But because they've resprayed it, we can't really see what it is and turn it back to front. We're addicted to it, but we can't really see why. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's what they've done. They've totally turned it inside out and upside down, where really it's the key for us to get together, but we can't see it. You know, because out of nothing, you're out of the heaven, you can create your own. That's basically the future is something that you can put into action. You know, you can actually manifest the future, you know, because all the future is an effect of the cause. So if you smoke a lot, the effect is you're gonna get lung cancer, you're gonna become weak. So you can determine the future.
In fact, it's a very good example, because if you do smoke, you can determine you get lung cancer. Yeah, and so forth.
So every action has an effect, and all the future is no fancy science behind it. All the future is an effect. So you know that if you've done a little bit of running, jogging today, you know the future, the effect of that, you're gonna have become more healthy in the future. You know, if you go to a vegan restaurant and eat the vegan restaurant and you stop eating so much sugar for the day, the future is you're going to have a healthier life. So you have the power to determine your own future. And this is the ability that the main ability that they've taken away from us is this belief that we can actually determine our own future without the help of no mystery spirit or ghost or old grey misplaced Santa Claus coming down from the sky. You have the power. That's why you've got 2 hands, 2 feet, and a brain. Why do you think you've got this divine device? Because it's giving you the ability. Even the astronomy shows you, you know, you have the power to determine the future, and your battery is the earth itself. So the earth itself is your power supply. Absolutely.
Okay then, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bounce in with some Les Brown. You know, Les Brown is a great orator, one of a great speaker, motivational speaker. I'm going to play with his some bit of music, and the jams will continue the whole reasoning.
You have greatness in you. You have greatness. You gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. People that want to step into their greatness are hungry. You gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. To give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold poverty, famine should go, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want. If dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it. You'll get it. You gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. Somebody said, I'm hungry. Talk. I'm hungry. About being hungry. Talk. Somebody said, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. It is something I like to share some ideas and thoughts with you. I'm not asking that you believe anything that I say. I'm not asking that you agree with me. I'm merely asking that you stand on and in the conversation that we'll share with you this evening. If there's something that I say that can fit and work for you, I say use it. If not, discard it and let it be. That all right? I'm hungry. Very good. All right. I'm hungry. One of the things I have realized, and many of us have, that if you want something out of life, I'm hungry. If you want to change.
Yes. Just a dropping some Les Brown stuff, because you know no one ever dropping the Les Brown no. Yes. Jammers come true.
Yeah, I've got, two things I'm going to say. First, we're talking about the warped translation of ancient science, and it's called Christianity. And basically, they've badly mistranslated our ancient science. Because we are beings of life. Firstly, we're beings of life. We move with life. Everything is about life. They've actually mistranslated it into the worship of the dead. Because if you really look at what the symbol is for Christianity now, it's a dead person on a cross. That represents the death. So basically, Christianity has now become the worship of the dead, something that can't be brought back to life, the worship of the dead. Someone at the crossroads. So basically, if you're at the crossroads, that means you're neither dead nor alive. You're in a neverland. Right? Look at the word heaven backwards, you see the word never. So basically, a belief now is something that is not actually real. It's something that you hold in your head. So they've taken us as life beings, and instead of we doing things of life, animating life now, we're worshipping a dead entity that's dead. You know, why would you want to put your thing that you hold dearly to yourself, and the only image, there's so many different images you could use, but you want to use the image of a dead person on the cross? You know, belief is something that is something that you hold in your head. That's the only belief, and facts can't go together. So if you know something, that is something that you can bring to life. If you believe something, that's something that you hold in your head. You know, so it's actually opposite to nature.
Say that again. That's quite interesting. Say that bit there again.
Yeah, a belief is something that you hold in your head. You know, when you know something, that's something that you can manifest. That's something that you can animate. You can give life to. But when you have a belief, it's something you got to hold and hope that somebody who's giving you that belief is going to manifest that belief. So actually, it's taking your power out of your hands when you believe something. Right? I've just got something. Some here I'm going to read out, and then we'll take. So basically, here's part of the science. From nothing, which is the nothing of your brain, comes a thought. The Egyptian word is thoth. So from nothingness, which is not no external nothingness, no heaven that you see in the sky. It's the nothingness within you, comes a thought. So from your nothingness comes a thought. That thought fills the nothingness that's in your head. The thought that you have creates a force, like you might see a donut. So you're minding your own business, all of a sudden you have a thought, me hungry. So out of nothingness you produce life from nothing. Remember, out of darkness, you're just nothing. You had a thought, me hungry. So that's the magic that you have. You have the power of the creator. Then from that now, your eyes start moving around. So then you've seen a donut, you've created matter, and now you've created a force to move to that. So now you've manifested a movement towards matter. You've made this thought become a reality. You know, the thought now creates time, because when you have a thought, it creates the time. So you create time. Time don't create you. You create the time. So time fixes the thought. it fixes the thought. So how the event's gonna happen? Boy, I'm hungry, but I've got to go to work in an hour, so I better go and quickly run across the shop to go and get the donut. So basically, when you from nothing, you've manifested a thought. The thought's created force. The force has created a movement towards matter. That thought's also created a time factor. So you've actually created the time zone for you to create the event for the thing to happen. You see what I'm saying? And then the time is the force that holds all the events together. You know, each thing has its place now because you've made a time, you've created a time. Now you've made a placement where everything's got to happen. I've got to cross the road at a certain point to get to this donut because I've created a timeline to get that donut because I'm hungry before I get to work. Yeah, you got anything to say?
No, I'm just taking the vibes in, Jammers. Just taking the vibes in, man. Because, yeah, go on.
And then so your thoughts created a time, but the time doesn't move in motion. The time is fixed, you know, but you make the motion to move through the time that you've created. So you create a fixed level of time. It might be 6 hours. You've created that time zone. The time doesn't move, but now you move through the time. You move you create the motion to move through the time.
Move through the time. Manifest. Yeah.
So then your consciousness will move from one event to the other, from the time line that you've created through the event that you want to happen because you're hungry for the donut. So now you've got all these different events that you're going to manifest through from that timeline that you've created.
But talking about consciousness, because I heard someone was mention there's a super consciousness. Do you know anything? Are you familiar with that? Super consciousness?
Well, the only super consciousness I think is when you control event, you can manifest your reality. That's what I call super consciousness. You've got passive consciousness, which the Western society train you just think about conscious, where it don't do nothing. But you've got consciousness that you can work with. You can make your own future, and that's what I'm talking about. Super consciousness, where you can make your own future. As I said, all the future is an effect of the cause.
But coming to the whole thing about consciousness, because most of this stuff, what we have is hold on to our subconscious. So an example would be that from a long time, I remember my mum or my dad did tell me off from the age of 11 or 12, and we hold on to all that stuff there into our consciousness, into our subconsciousness. Yeah. And another thing will be that if you watch a movie, right, even though it's not real, you get frightened. Yeah. So there's something in the subconscious. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of that idea thing about the subconscious. Go on.
What I would really say about consciousness, because that's a word and a noun, don't give me the science. Consciousness is like a car that you don't use. That's what I call subconscious. So the car's sitting in the garage, it's getting dirt, it's getting spiders' webs, you know, it's seizing up, the compartment, the air filter's getting blocked up, you know, it's starting to get rust. That's what subconscious, because we haven't been trained to use our consciousness. If you got in that car and started driving it regular, there'd be no cobwebs, it'd be well looked after, blah, blah, blah. So we've been taught this word, and we haven't been given the science of how to use the word. So the subconscious is when you don't use the power that you've got to define your reality, and it sits there, and other people start coming on and contaminating it. They get in your car, start driving the car, because you don't know how to drive. So that's what the subconscious is. We have not been trained through this Bible and belief and lack of science. We've not been trained to actually be able to use this consciousness to make our own future a reality. You know, and as I said, all the future is an effect of the cause.
Right.
So once again, you out of nothing, you create a thought. For the force of the thought, you create a movement. The movement creates matter, so your hands start to move. Then you create a timeline. The timeline is fixed. Then you then you start to move through your timeline, and it causes different events to come in place for you to manifest this reality of the thought that you created out of nothing. And then you're not supposed to move forward. You're supposed to move rightward.
That's the new one for 2019.
Rightward.
Don't move forward or backward, move rightward. Make the right move. Because it's all about a choice. You know, you can either move into the darkness or move into the light. You know, every move you make is just two choices: into the darkness or into the light. And when I mean into the darkness, is when you drive in a car and you shut your eyes. Anything can happen. So you're walking past a Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know the shop's bad for you. You know chicken ain't gonna do nothing, and the door not gonna. But you're gonna shut down your conscious. That's what it means. Into the darkness is when you shut down the knowledge that you have that this thing's gonna have a detrimental effect to me. That's what into the darkness means. You know, you shut down. Oh, let me just have this donut. I'm hungry. To satisfy your tongue. You know, not the science. You know. So when you switch off your mind, oh, I like that girl. I've got my wife at home, but let me shut down now. Have a 2 dance and thing, you know. Oh, this whiskey. Let me have a little bit of whiskey, you know. Oh, 5 glasses. Let me have a bottle. It's going into the darkness is when you shut down in your consciousness of the detriment that can have to you. That's what moving into darkness. You can either move to the darkness or move to the light. It's as simple as that. So start moving rightward. Forget about forward, because you can drive your car forward and smash into another car. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So you have to start to take control of your own destiny. That's really what this whole thing's about, is that you have the power to manifest your own reality. And remember, the future is just an effect of the cause. So if you have a good cause, you're going to have a good effect. Simple as that. You know, everybody else, especially the Western society, can tell you when the next iPhone's coming out next year, 5 o'clock, or, you know, October the 23rd, and it happens. They got football matches planned for the whole of next season, and it happens. The train runs exactly to the second. You know, so don't tell me we can't manifest our own reality.
No, but, you know, son, you're right. You know, we said that, I mean, these people, they plan the whole next season, right? Fixtures, you know, and it happens, you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's not a guess thing, or it may be, or whatever. You know, they're planned, and it happens.
Yeah, they've given us this religion to make it some mystery thing that you can't predict your future. Everything's out of your hands. Throw away all your riches and hope for the best until this Santa Claus imitator comes out the sky and saves you. You know, where they can predict everything. Everything. Next, look at the movies, all the movies. Go look at the TV. Look at the TV program. They tell you what movie's coming out all the way to Christmas, and it happens. You know, so that's the power that we've got to start to take and manifest for 2019. Rock and come in.
See you there. Okay.
Respect to everybody. Yeah, we just getting warm up for this year.
Just a warm up. So going to the two vibes still. See, just
so remember, you're the Solomon. Solomon is soul Amun. Amun means the hidden soul within you. So you're the wisest one. You just have to start listening to that inner voice sometimes.
See it there. And we have to listen to the inner voice, because, as you know, that the demon can talk to you and chat with a fuji. You have to say to yourself, "Shut up," as Les Brown says, "Shut up." You know. See, so it's about we being in control of our destiny, control of our mind, our vision, and where we want to go. You must have a vision in life.
And I just like to say, the highest sense you got is not no like spirit. Don't go to no spiritual medium, or go to no voodoo, or go to any some high priest or whatever. The highest sense you got is what your mother always had, is common sense. That's all you need, is common sense.
Yeah. All right. Rhythm.
That you never used. And there they are, standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, "We came to you.
Listen to this very carefully.
Only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever." The question is, if you died this very moment, what will die with you? What dream? What idea? What talent? What leadership potential? What greatness that you showed up to bring? That you allowed fear or procrastination to hold you back. Perhaps that's why Henry David Thoreau wrote the words, "Oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived. Only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential." Repeat after me, please, with power, feeling, and conviction. I refuse to die an unlived life. Yes, shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, live your dream. Live your dream. I think we should all resolve. I refuse to die an unlived life. Don't worry about the odds. Don't worry about it. You survived 1 out of 40 million sperms. You will never have those odds again. You beat those odds, you can win anything. Live your dream. Refuse to die an unlived life. You can win anything. Live your dream. Live your dream. Live your dream. You can win anything. Live your dream. Live your dream. Live your dream. Live your dream. How many of you know that if you had your life to live over again, you could do more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. You could do more than what you've done thus far. What we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us. You could do more than what you've done thus far. So I want you to think about some goals that you'd like to achieve, and I'd like for you to, let's say, break them up in 3 categories. Number 1, I want you to think about some personal goal you'd like to achieve. And I'd like you to think about some career goal, some business goal that you'd like to achieve. And I want you to think about some social contribution, some impact you'd like to make with your life. It was Horace Mann who said, we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world that gives us an opportunity to leave our mark, to make a statement with our lives. And as you think about these goals, whatever those goals are, I want you to dramatically increase those goals. And I want to warn you. I want to warn you. I don't want you to think about how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. I want to warn you. How is none of your business. The most important thing is just to increase those goals. I've found that most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. Many don't aim at all. So raise the bar on yourself and don't ask how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. I'll never forget when I decided that I wanted to become a motivational speaker. I saw the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and my heart said, I can do that. But my mind asked the question, how? And for over 14 years, I would go see Zig Ziglar and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Jim Rohn and different speakers, and I would be in the audience, and my heart would pounce and say, you can do that, Les. And then when I would leave, I would go into the parking lot, and my mind said, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? I spent so many years trying to figure out how. I wasted 14 years. As you begin to think about your goals, the most important thing is commit yourself. See, once you commit yourself, the how will come, the way will come. Once you commit yourself, you will figure it out. You want to begin to just challenge yourself. You want to stretch yourself because you really don't know what you can't do. I don't want you to think about how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. If you're going in the wrong direction, all you have to do is turn around and go in the other direction. You will figure it out. You can do more than what you've done thus far. You can do more than what you've done thus far. I want to challenge you right now about raising your goals.
As unbelievable as it may seem.
You have something special. You do. Stretch yourself. See, I think that you really have to stretch yourself to discover your stuff. I think that we have to really begin to experiment with life. When I said that you have something special, I didn't say that just to be kind and courteous. You do. See, I think that there are not many people that come to seminars or workshops or will watch a program of this nature. Why? I just think that most people are just satisfied to where they are. I'm reminded of a man one day, he was walking down the street and he passed his porch where some people were on the porch talking.
Yes, express yourself. As Les Brown was said. Express yourself. Okay then. So this is the show after the show. As you know, John was just breaking down the old words, the whole thing about consciousness, the whole thing about God, what is heaven. You know, and you know, John does a lot of research and he brings it to the table. That's why everybody loves him.
I want to challenge you right now. Stretch yourself.
Your help would be greatly appreciated.
Most people are just satisfied to where they are.
Gosh darn it, I need more cash.
Just heard it back up. Come on and grow. You really have to stretch yourself. We have to really begin to experiment with life. Discover your stuff. When I said that you have something special, I didn't say that just to be kind and courteous. You do.
As unbelievable as it may seem.
You have something special. You do. You really have to stretch yourself. Begin to experiment with life. Discover your stuff. You want to begin to take some chances. You want to begin to challenge yourself and make it okay to fail and learn from your failure. Don't allow fear of failure and the allure, the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. Don't allow fear to draw you in. It's necessary that you have the mindset that I can do this. You've got to begin to believe and to fortify that belief and feed that belief by listening to tapes, going to seminars and workshops, by stretching yourself. I can do this. It was Osborne who said, unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. As you begin to challenge yourself, you'll discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. Don't allow fear of failure and the allure, the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. The other thing is you begin to look at yourself, look at your dreams, and begin to experiment and stepping into your greatness. One of the things is very important. Whatever goals and dreams that you have, repeat after me, please. Make your move before you're ready. Make your move before you're ready. You have Price Pritchard, who's a great motivator and trainer, said, make your move before you're ready. Make your move. We're instructed in life to walk by faith and not by sight. Make your move. See, you want to really begin to stretch yourself. You want to become a risk taker. You want to raise the bar on yourself. Most people won't do that. See, most people engage in low life living, low risk living. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I like what Helen Keller said. Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. So you want to begin to take some chances. You want to begin to challenge yourself and make it okay to fail and learn from your failures. Don't allow fear of failure and the allure, the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave. So you want to begin to take some chances. You want to begin to challenge yourself. Take some chances. I'm here because a lot of people helped me. I'm here because a lot of people believed in me at a time when I was struggling to believe in myself. Not only is it possible that you can live your dream, is it necessary that you call forth your team and surround yourself with people that you can learn from and grow from. You must work on yourself and monitor yourself and train yourself. You've got to begin to take total responsibility for the outcomes that you want to produce in your life. But let us say together with power and conviction, it's hard. It's hard. Living a dream, changing your life, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard when you lose all your money, when you've given it the best that you have. It's hard. It's hard. When you have
portion-controlled diets result in permanent weight loss very rarely. So Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers and all these diets, counting calories, all this stuff about portion sizes being bigger than ever before and people got to put it on their plate and eat less food, it's really not going to work because people will just eat more frequently if they eat smaller portions. They'll just eat again more frequently. But in any case, we have to desire smaller portions, not just put it on the plate. And to do that, to desire smaller portions, we really have to eat high-nutrient, high-volume foods, and we have to eat a lot of them. It has to be the majority of what you eat. So what foods are highest in nutrients? And what foods are highest in bulk and fiber and volume? And here's an example of high-volume foods. So let's categorize this into 4 categories. Raw vegetables, of course, lettuces, celery, cucumbers, snow peas, tomatoes. Raw vegetables are a critical necessity for excellent health. When you cook a raw vegetable or cook a vegetable, you lose about 35% of the isothiocyanates that you would have gleaned had you taken it in its raw form. You know, that's okay. I mean, cooked vegetables are still needed too, because if we just ate all raw vegetables, we wouldn't get enough vegetables into us because we get too filled up from them fast. So what's wrong with a raw food diet for most people? Because some people can do okay on a raw food diet, but many people cannot. because the raw vegetables take up so much bulk in their stomach, and because they're not digested efficiently, that the majority of calories pass through you undigested because people don't chew well enough, that their caloric needs aren't met by raw vegetables enough, and they have to eat too many fruits and too many nuts. So in proportionally, they're actually eating less vegetable nutrients by their diet being all raw than they would have had they included some cooked vegetables. You follow that? So even though you lose some nutrients with cooking a vegetable, you wind up getting in, you're able to get more vegetables in your diet, and vegetables become a higher proportion of your total caloric intake, increasing the nutrient density of your diet if you include cooked vegetables in your diet. So we had cooked vegetables, we have, of course, and we can eat more cruciferous compounds. We can eat arugula and watercress and little kale raw, but it's hard to eat Brussels sprouts raw. It's hard to eat cabbage raw. You can shred some cabbage on your salad, but it's hard to eat a lot of, collard greens raw. It's better to put it into a soup. And when you soup cook the collards, and you mix it with leek, and you put in kale, and when you put that into a soup, any nutrient loss from the water solubilizing the nutrients goes into the water, and you take it into the soup anyway. So soups are a very healthy way to get nutrients. So let's go through this again. Raw vegetables, cooked greens, very important. The non-green vegetables, the ones that are low in calories, like mushrooms, eggplant, tomatoes, peppers, cauliflower, and of course fresh fruits. These are the foods that are highest in nutrients. They have the highest nutrient per calorie quotients. Now, how many of you know the nutrient per calorie quotient of all food? Because you should. So any of you know what's higher and lower in nutrients? If I name a food, any food, do you know the nutrient score, how high or low it'll be? Because you guys have to know this. So what's the food that's highest in nutrients of all foods? Anybody know? The green vegetables, right. And here's the point, that if the race was a 2-mile race, green vegetables would win the race by 1.75 miles. So much higher than everybody else. Let's look at these numbers now. I know it's probably hard to read these. It's written very small. But let's look at the nutrient density now of various foods. And I derived these numbers. So look at what's at the top there. Okay, I gave kale. Kale had the highest number. If you added up every nutrient known to man, right, multiplied it by the RDA to turn it into a factor, and then take all the other nutrients that don't have RDAs and go to the scientific literature and find out what would be the recommended value for those and make up an RDA based on the preponderance of evidence in the medical literature, and add those up and divide that by the number of calories. You get a certain number. You put kale at the top because it's the highest number. You make that number 1,000 by multiplying by some factor, and then I put every other food related to kale based on how many nutrients it had. Okay? So clearly, you can eat a vegan diet, right? You can have a vegan diet of pasta, bread, and look where whole wheat bread is. It's not too much higher over white bread and white pasta. See that? Now on a scale of 1 to 1,000, look where rice and potato are, about 50, right? And of course carrots and green peppers and cabbage and artichokes and broccoli and asparagus and strawberries and blueberries and tomatoes and cherries are all of those foods that are really healthy are above 100, right? Here's the thing, fruits and vegetables are between 100 and 1,000, and almost everything else is below 100. You got that? Now, how many of you eat the majority of your caloric intake above the 100-point line? Not many people. Most people on vegan diets get most of their calories from grains like potatoes and rice, right? And oil. Grains and oil, and that can't be a healthy diet.
What is health? Well, you could say it's the absence of disease. But then if you say that, what is disease? Well, we know that disease is when we fall ill and when we have functional and pathological problems that stop us doing, stop us moving, stop us being who we want to be. If you like, they restrict us, they hold us in. And so you could say that health is the absence of these pathological and biological issues. It's the freedom of disease. It's to be without symptoms. So when you go to see a health practitioner, they are trying to remove your symptoms. That's one way of looking at it. But another way to look at health is what does health give us when we are truly healthy? When we are in good health, then we don't really think about our bodies and our minds and our emotions. We're just in the flow of life. That is to be in good health. And you could say that really it's the freedom to have creativity, to be able to be as free and express yourself as creatively as you would like. And it's interesting to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs when considering health, because I think that the healthier you are, the more likely you are to be able to express yourself through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So his first set of needs were the physiological needs, the need for security, for safety, to have a shelter, to have food and water and warmth and heat and light. Those basic physiological requirements for us to survive as an organism. And to have those, you need to have those. What is health? Well, you could say it's the absence of disease. But then if you say that, what is disease? Well, we know that disease is when we fall ill and when we have functional and pathological problems that stop us doing, stop us moving, stop us being who we want to be. If you like, they restrict us, they hold us in. And so you could say that health is the absence of these pathological and biological issues. It's the freedom of disease. It's to be without symptoms. So when you go to see a health practitioner, they are trying to remove your symptoms. That's one way of looking at it. But another way to look at health is what does health give us when we are truly healthy? When we are in good health, then we don't really think about our bodies and our minds and our emotions. We're just in the flow of life. That is to be in good health. And you could say that really it's the freedom to have creativity, to be able to be as free and express yourself as creatively as you would like. And it's interesting to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs when considering health, because I think that the healthier you are, the more likely you are to be able to express yourself through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So his first set of needs were the physiological needs, the need for security, for safety, to have a shelter, to have food and water and warmth and heat and light. Those basic physiological requirements for us to survive as an organism. And to have those, you need to have those in order to be healthy, to live healthily. Then there's the next layer of needs is around safety and security. So to have the security and the safety of a good job, to have a good income, and to have a good house and a good home, and those kind of things that give you stability and security. If you have those, then you can be healthy. The next level up was, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is to do with belonging. And that's to do with family and friendships and a sense of belonging and connection with others. And that's very important, and that moves you up in the hierarchy. If you have the psychological things in place, if you have a sense of safety and security, and you have a sense of belonging and connection, then you can move on to the next level, which is around self-esteem. So you have confidence and you have a sense of achievement, and you're able to go out and do things in life and achieve things and set goals. And if you have all of that and you have your health and you're able to do all of that, then you can move to the highest level, which is about self-actualization. And this is to do with having a true purpose in life and being completely free to express yourself with spontaneity and creativity and to be true to who you really are. It's about having a life purpose, about being able to solve things and thinking on your feet and enjoying life. And I think to be truly healthy, to be free of your symptoms and to be living in this way with fulfilling your true purpose and to have a sense of being and purpose in life, that's the true definition of health. And in order to have that, of course, you have to have all those other things that Maslow describes in his hierarchy. So when we talk about health in homeopathy, when we talk about the healthy person, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody being able to express themselves freely and creatively at the highest levels of their being, and being able to put themselves into life. So it's not just about being free of symptoms as we have come to know them, as they're talked about in society today. We're talking about a lot more than just physical pathology. We're talking a lot more than just coughs and rashes and achy knees and respiratory problems or circulatory problems. It goes a lot deeper. And actually, the whole person's connected. So all of this is connected anyway. You know, if I have mental and emotional stress, then it's going to be expressing itself in the physical being. It's going to be manifesting on all levels of being, and that's going to stop me being creative, so and being free. So, you know, if I develop an achy knee and then that develops into arthritis and I'm unable to walk as much as I used to be able to, then sure, that's restricting me creatively and in a freedom sense. But so is waking up every morning and worrying about money or worrying about my job or having relationship issues. These are restricting my freedom and my creativity. And actually one is very likely to lead to the other. So for example, if I don't like going to work and I find work really difficult and it's unfulfilling and unenjoyable, then maybe I will start to develop a leg problem, so I can't walk. So I'm no longer able to walk to work. This would be the body's way of sorting out an issue that I leave unchecked. And so this is what we're talking about when we're talking about health and disease and the way that the whole organism is connected. We are so intelligent, the body is so intelligent, it knows how to cure itself, how to look after itself. So if you don't look after the stress in your life, then your body will find ways to look after that stress for you, and it will manifest in your being.
Yes, just listen to the reasoning. Talking about health, seeing, and it's very important that we get on top of things when it comes to everything about health. Yep. So that's why I was playing the recording. And again, we can't emphasize the importance of looking after one's health, well-being, you know, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Seeing, and that's why, you know, we played the recording of Dave Murphy, who was very, very, very serious when it comes to thing about health. Yep. I was hoping to get a phone in from a sister who's got a restaurant over in Seven Sisters, but she must be very busy. I can't seem to get hold of her right now. She's gonna hopefully we'll have her to phone in and talk about everything about health and everything about the restaurant where ones and ones can go there and get a vegan meal. See? So again, this is the Jammaster show, the show after the show. And as I said earlier on, we had a great man, Jammers was inside the house, talking the old thing about with Jammers is a words man, you know. He's a words man, and he talked about the conscious mind, because everything is logged in the in the conscious. Because don't forget you have the super conscious. Jam say we don't about the super conscious, right? And that's where the thoughts are in the conscious, in the subconscious. You know, and I'll give an example. You know that even colors is programmed into your subconscious. You know, McDonald's. You know that they always play Pacific colors, right? These people are the top psychiatrists. You know what I mean? The top psychiatrists. They spend literally millions of pounds, and the objective is to get our money. See, so they don't play with this stuff here. They don't play with this thing here. You know, colors, smells. You know. Sorry, brother. Good. Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Oh,
yeah.
Just come from work family. Kind of tired, but still, always have room for the knowledge. You get me?
Yeah.
I'll introduce myself. My name's Stepa. You know what I mean? Keep stepping. You know. As Brother Dougie was saying, yeah, about certain companies and the colours they use. Yeah. It's all subconsciously done. Hence, when you see a child walk past McDonald's, which I'm sure you are aware of, you've seen that quite a few times, it might have happened to you yourself or your family. It's not a coincidence that they react the way they do. It's called programming. You get me? And the first thing a child identifies with, as Brother Dougie was saying, before even language, because their brain becomes like a computer. So what actually you're doing, you have a child and you have a USB stick. Your child is a USB stick basically, but on a spiritual level, on a mental level, and an emotional level. Yeah? And what you download into that child affects that child. You can use the analogy that some of our children right now, some of the youths them on road are crashing. Need rebooting. You know what I mean? Need defragging. Do you get me? But back to my point, the colours are significant. As I was saying before, let's take a child. Before they can talk, before they can speak, they are actually mapping out their brain, i.e., they might look at Brother Dougie and says, oh, that's my uncle. But it takes him time to map out because he's got to map out where he see Brother Dougie. So he see Brother Dougie where his mum is, at his mum's house. He see Brother Dougie at his uncle's house. So that's all mapped out in his brain. And then he recognises what Brother Dougie is wearing. And there might be something significant with Brother Dougie. He might have a staff in his hand. So this child is mapping out all these things so they all have a domino effect and they all relate to one another. Yeah? That's before even language is being formed. This is why these people, these devilish people, know that the first way to get to your child before they can even speak is to acknowledge colours. As simple as that. And you lot don't see it. But when that yellow is licking their head on the subconscious level, and them toys are licking their head, and then when you bring that all together with speech and language and advertising, that child now becomes addicted to the colour.
If I did, you broke it down even more deeper than that. I didn't. Yeah, you kind of taught me something there, on that level there. Yeah, and the whole thing about colours, smell.
Yeah.
You know, even certain noise.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing. You know, because it's quite interesting because you know, and I always observe this, right? When I pass McDonald's, right, I stop for a couple of minutes, right, and then you see the child's dragging the mum, right, into the McDonald's.
You know them one, Brother D. You know them ones.
Yeah, just dragging. You know, and I'm real. I said, it's amazing. You know, because the whole symbol of the McDonald's, the branding, the big sign.
My man with his big boots and his big red nose.
That's right.
He ain't their brethren. When them? Ronald,
yeah. You know? You know? And obviously they're targeting the children and the picnic them.
Yeah.
See? So to speak. And yeah, and it works.
It gets deeper than that, Dougie. It's before your child is even born. Your child's in your baby mother's womb. Mothers, fathers, listen to this. Your child is in your womb. Listening, getting downloads, which you are downloading unaware. You know what I mean? I know back in the day, children used to listen bless. Or somebody might be listening to Dougie. And he said, boy, the baby kicked me in my belly. Because the baby can relate to Dougie's voice. So be careful what you're downloading.
It's true,
You know
very
what I mean?
true.
It's not a joke thing.
It's very true.
You know what I mean? And like I was talking before I cut into Dougie, the colours are significant. We have Asda. Can you tell me what colour Asda is, Dougie?
No, what colour is Asda?
That's green.
Green, Asda. Yeah.
All right then.
And-
Santander. What colour is Santander?
Is that red? Not red.
Yes, it's red.
It's red, yeah.
It's red.
Okay then.
These colours are all significant into advertising because it automatically lets you relate to it, but it's a terminology of football. You're getting salad. If my ballers know what I mean, you're getting done. You're really getting. Do you know what I mean? If you, like Brother Dougie was going to say, I'm going to let him finish his point about the child coming towards the McDonald's, and you say,
no, as simple as that. You know, they just cry, mom, I want to, you know, and the mother someone have to just give in and just go into the McDonald's and spend their money. You know,
why does she have to give in?
That's a very good question. Why she has to give in, but I think it's the power of the child. You know,
right. I'll give you what happened to me or what I observed.
Before, sorry, I just want to big up a couple individuals locking right now. Big up to Matthew, big up your Steelers every single time. Sister Ann, big up yourself. Rakika, big up yourself every single time. Sister Grace, Imani out in Manchester, big up your Steelers every single time. And it's quite a few people I want to big up, but those are the ones I've got texts and have to big up personally. Sorry, my brother.
All right, as you were saying about the colours, and you were going to use the example of a child approaching McDonald's. It's like Jaws. Oh, it's a mad movie. Well, the child is approaching McDonald's. The anticipation and what's been downloaded into her subconscious is, like we said, before she understands the letter M or the letter C, she can see the colour.
That's powerful.
She can see the colour. There's certain shops you go around North London, as soon as you come out the train station, you can look down and you can see the colour. There's certain drinks that have a significant colour with a white stripe down the middle, but me now promote them. Yeah, I mean? And they have two terminology. One's the drug terminology and one's a drink terminology. Yeah, I mean? Maybe that's just a coincidence, but this drink does originate from the cocoa leaves. Which, back again, if you check the history of that drink, it was from the Mayans that they got that, but as usual, yeah.
But if you look at the whole thing of Coca-Cola, how it's shaped like in a bottle, like a female shape, you know what I mean?
I never noticed that before, Dougie. How did you reach that assumption? I'll play me up. How did you reach that assumption?
Observation. To be quite honest with you, right? To be quite honest with you, sometimes things is in your face, right, and you don't really pay no mind. And in fact, somebody bring that to my attention some time ago, but I still didn't pay no mind. But like now, I see these things and I say, wow, right? It's just amazing, advertising. You know, these people spend, like I said, millions of pounds, right, to get our money.
And like you said, Dougie, about the bottle shaped like a lady, and whole time they remember them songs about Coca-Cola bottle shape. Do you get me? Yeah. But like I said, on like more serious note, family, men, women, fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, uncles, auntie, nieces. Watch the child before it's born. You know what I mean? Meaning what you watch or what you listen to, that child would hear these things. And like I said, do a test yourself. Stand at McDonald's for 10 minutes and look at the reaction. These children, these innocent children, are downloaded with this, that. I call it's like a crackhead, yeah. And I've seen some things where one lady, she's walking down the road, and you can see the anticipation in the child's face. Mum, McDonald's. You're like, what? And this woman looked like she just come from yard. So you're not gonna get fresher than that. You know, if that's it. She ain't ramping. So the child is going, Mummy, McDonald's. And then my girl, if you know how Jamaican parents stay, they're very strict. You're not gonna beat me over a fried dumpling and ackee and saltfish. It's not gonna happen. But the child made up such a fuss. And I said to the woman, I go, how you making him go on like that and talk to you like that and thing? You should just reprimand him. Bye. But you should just reprimand him. You know what she said? I cannot reprimand him because he's then going to make up noise and then social services is going to get onto me. So you see the corporate structure around this one thing. You know what I mean? That even to discipline your child, because what goodness is in there? What protein is in there? What health is in there? But you know what I mean? Allegedly.
No, but that's quite interesting. Oh, it was someone on the live. I know someone who wanted to phone in.
Right.
Oh, just wait a second.
Hold tight, caller.
Greetings.
Hi, Dougie. How you doing, man?
Yeah, give thanks. Also, we have steppers inside the house as well. You know.
Yeah, man. I hear you. New Year greetings to everybody in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
I just wanted to touch on the issue that the brother raised about the behavior of the children when they want a certain food or they want a certain product and doing the 2-year-old tantrum screaming and mummy give me this type thing. What you have to understand is that the industry is a finely tuned engine designed to capture the taste buds and the mindset and the association that children have with their products.
Yes, right.
They spend millions of pounds with experts who actually have a set plan where they what's the word I need to use? They encapsulate the child's mind. Let me just start with the food.
Yeah.
We already know that the food is non-nutritional anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. The food is specifically tailored with fat and sugar.
Yeah.
And basically, what they call this thing the holy triune, or the holy trinity, where it's the fat, the sugar, and something else. I can't remember what it is. But they put just enough fat so that the food is slippery enough to taste to the taste buds.
Would it be fat, sugar, and salt?
Salt.
Yeah.
So the sugar is not too sweet, not too fresh,
Fat, sugar,
but it's
and
just
salt.
enough to stimulate the activity in the brain.
Oh.
And then the salt, it's not too salty, but it's not too fresh. And those three items you will find in every fast food ingredient. When those foods are put before a child and the child eats them, the child has a feeling of satiety. The child will eat and eat and eat, and then the child will feel, okay, I need some more.
I don't know.
And then they'll eat again, and they'll eat again. And then what will happen is they won't be filled. Have you ever had a custard cream and stopped at one?
Oh, the custard cream, I call them desert food. Digestive biscuits, desert food.
All right. They operate on exactly the same thing. You will never stop eating a custard cream until you reach the end of the packet, and then your mind cuts off and says, there's nothing more, and then you'll stop. There are very few people that can eat one custard cream and then leave it.
Oh, that's kind of deep.
You understand?
Yeah.
So what you have to remember is when we're going through this is that this industry is set to get finances from you, your child.
Yeah.
And there's an advertisement. I'm going to send it to you later on. There's an interview with a multi-million-dollar business, and the woman is speaking, and she says specifically that our aim is to get to that child, and that child will get to the parent for her. Because the child doesn't have any financial power. But that child will, can we have that, mummy? Can I have that, mummy? Can I have that, mummy? Can I have that, mummy? Over and over and over again. And the mother will give in. Look at the cereal aisles.
Yeah.
Say no more.
I'll tell you how bad it is, bro. What's your name again, sir?
Richie.
All right, Richie. So I'm Stepa, yeah. I tell you, it's
Nice
getting
to meet you,
so
sir.
bad, yeah. I was in a DIY shop, yeah. It could be N&A or L&A or you know what I mean, but it's doing two letters, but differently.
Yeah.
So I was in there, and you sell screwdrivers, plaster, brick, wallpaper. When I get to the aisle to pay for my stuff, guess what they got there? They got the sweets and the Coke machine.
Coke machine, right.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because that's the longest space of time that you will have before you check out. And lastminute.com, and the children will always want something before they actually go. And those colours are stimulating brain activity. And those children associate those sweets or those sugars with the reward factor. You know, people that comfort eat, they eat because they want to. They feel the sugar is just giving them that comfort and that ease that they need. But then it's not doing them anything. It's stimulating. We all know that sugar is one molecule away from cocaine.
Yes.
What does cocaine do to the crackhead? He will go to no ends to find that lost rock.
Yes. But it's
that's the same.
But it's quite interesting, Brother Richie, because nighttime, right? If he knows that on TV, right, they put these adverts out for
certain products,
but chocolate.
Yeah.
And they have this woman who's craving for chocolate late at night.
We'll keep it real. Why do they? What it's called? Yeah, it's called hypersexualization. Yeah. If Richie knows, Richie should kind of know what I'm talking about. But they do it from the kids. They do it in advertising. A simple bar of chocolate. You got it sort of touching on the grounds of making it sort of sexual.
Yeah.
Why?
No, they do make it sexual, especially late at night. Go on.
It's not touching on sexual. It is sexual.
It is sexual, yeah.
All you're seeing is lips. You're seeing English. No disrespect to the English, but they don't really have lips. But you know that they're getting these people who are sexualizing the lips. We associate the lips
and bumper.
with
I'm keeping it real. I don't business. You know what I mean?
Look at the Maltesers advert. Yeah, the girl she's toying with the Maltesers in a very sexual way. I was on the dance floor, and it was around my neck, and then basically they sexualize food so that we go for those foods. Women want to aspire to be like the people in the advert. Guys like the sexuality of the content. So we're driven, money-wise, we're driven by sexuality and food.
It's true. In fact, made that point again. That's very true, you know. We're driven by sexuality and food, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And sex sells.
And sex sells, that's right. That's right. Well, the whole they said the whole profession is what? Prostitution, isn't it?
I'm telling you. They're selling it big time.
It's kind of funny what we're talking about. But if you get the first book that was written, they was fighting over food there, and this man said that this apple's yours, and my man said, where you get the apple from? It's the power of food. Like I can relate to what Richie's saying. It's the power of food that even in the Bible, this is where it started from. You know what I mean?
Obedience.
It's the power what food can have over a human. It could be an apple, it could be a bar of chocolate, but they deal with it on a subconscious level. You know what I mean?
But if you think about warfare, right? Everything comes down to how they control food. Everything comes to food, you know, because if we like it or not, and I know Rich is on a certain level, and steppers, and you know most people, but some people probably won't understand what I'm going to say there, but they're controlling our mind, our thoughts, and our behavior through the food. Right,
of course.
Like sugar, right? In fact, sugar's worse than crack cocaine, because if you're hooked on crack cocaine, you can go to a rehab, and it depends on your willpower. After a period of time, you can clear yourself clean. But sugar, when you hook on that, there's no rehab, you know.
Well, look,
see,
sugar is a hormone disruptor.
Yes.
So when you think about it like that, it displaces your level of thinking. So sugar is the only food that we can cut out of our diet and not miss. One food that we are missing from our diet that we all need is bitters. We've got the sweet and sour, we've got the sweet, we don't have the bitters.
Could you give us a little synopsis of why? Like, give us an example of why we need this
All
in
right.
our body.
Well, let me take it from an herbalist background, yeah?
See.
Certain foods will have certain chemicals in it or certain properties in it that will heal the body. So if I say to you bitter almonds and sweet almonds, okay, so bitter almonds, you can use bitter almonds because they contain lateral, B17, whatever other name you know it by, okay? So in America, what they've done with the bitter almonds is they've banned them from many of the states. Now what they're doing is they're restructuring the DNA of the bitter almonds, to become sweet almonds. Now sweet almonds you'll see on cakes, you'll see them on buns, you'll see them on healthy nuts and stuff.
Yeah.
But you will not see bitter almonds. Apricot seeds. We use apricot seeds because we use it for certain issues, to heal the body from a certain issue. They're trying to ban those from certain states. Okay. Now anything that is healthy and that contains less sugar, they want to restructure it so that it has an adverse effect on us. So that's from the sugar tip. And we know that sugar is an issue with children. You know what? I personally do not believe that there's anything called ADHD, yeah? Because the minute that you take those children off of those sugary foods and those sugary drinks, you put them on fruits and water, those children normalize.
Right. Richie, just to cut you, because I do work with children, yeah, with autism and Asperger's syndrome. And I explain to the children, and the parents of the children, that their diet is the most important thing to them. Forget about this class, because they've got different spectrums, Dougie. It's so many different levels. These people are like, what was that film with Tom Cruise? Back in the day, the Tom Cruise film with and the guy with autism.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
What's his name, man? If anybody knows about it, Tom Cruise, I can't remember the brother's name, but it's autism and Asperger's syndrome, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, basically, the most important thing, back to your point, Richie, is their diet, is their food.
Of course.
Do you get me? Because I've seen a child take up a tin of Coke, yeah? Because it's like a crackhead. When I go out with these kids or when I take them to classes, I have to do a risk assessment. I say, yo, Dougie, take up that Coke, take up that bar of chocolate, and can you put it over there? And you go, but it's safe here. I go, no, these people are fast. These people are fast. You turn your back. And they'll take the drink. And as Richie can tell you, the effect that sugar has on the human body.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Now, these child start getting hype. Proper hype. Like, and you're thinking, this isn't right. And it's happening. The thing is that they're not telling you. It happens to children of autism, Asperger's syndrome, yeah? But it's also happening to children.
Children, yeah.
That's it, full stop. I don't care if they got Asperger's syndrome. I don't care if they're disabled or whatever, yeah?
Well,
it happens to children.
Put it like this, if they catch them from children, they don't need to worry about the adults, because the children become adults. And then the adults become conformed, or they conform to what they're used to as a child. You know, so at the end of the day, this is why the whole agenda is set for your children and your children's mind. By the time you get to an adult, it's not so difficult to manipulate the mind of somebody who's used to sugars.
Right.
You have some people who are aged.
Oh, and, it's like that. Sorry to cut you, Richie. It's like that event that happened the other day. We, as we get older, we don't really find it important, but it's for the children. It was just a couple of days ago. I don't know if you noticed it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, old time them man, they're going down the chimney though, and I got radiators in my flat. Get me.
But the next thing as well is branding as well, because you know the association between the character cartoons that they put on the boxes and the colours that they use to stimulate the children's the children's association with the products. They use cartoons, they use colours, and these things are the things that children relate to and they remember. Even if a child can't spell, a child will recognise the M from McDonald's.
Yes.
And the colour, Richie, the colour.
Yes, and also Murder King. They will want to go to Murder King to get their food. Because the foods are processed carbs. They are highly processed carbs.
Yes.
that stimulate, but do not nutrition, that do not are not nourishing for the child.
Mm.
And they use these trans fats. Do you know anything about trans fats?
Yep, too much.
What's trans fat?
Give us a little synopsis again. I want people to know what's going on.
Trans fat. What's that? Yeah, break that down to us.
That's just
when I mentioned to you before about the fats that they use in the food, the fats are used to stimulate your taste. It gives the food the texture. When you eat crunchy food, if that crunchy food has that nice kind of soft texture to it, you become akin to that to that actual taste. How many times have you tried to eat something that has a crunchy taste to it, and you just crunch on that, you'll go through crisps. Okay, they're full of oils, they're full of sugars, they're full of processed foods. But the fact is that we are drawn to them. I can't even think of the words because I'm driving while I'm talking to you, but I'm on, my head is just spinning right now with information. I don't want to monopolize your time because I don't know what other subjects you guys have got to
No. We're good, Richard. Because what you're saying, and it's quite timely because I was just touching on one or two things, and then my brethren's come in, and him say, "Whoa, that was quite impressed what he was saying." You know what I mean? Then you come in, I'm even more impressed what's happening. So the reason is everything for the right moment, right time. But what I was gonna say to you, just to jump forward, right? And I know that you seem like a man's very much on top of things when it comes to the whole thing about health. Do you think, well, there's two things, right? But in schools, 'cause I'm not really, what's happening in the schools as such, right? But do you believe that we should have like a workshop, like classes to inform, especially children and parents, about the importance of eating more healthy? I just want to bring it to the table.
Of course, because I mean, you only have to look around to see where do our kids go after school.
Yeah.
They're living in the dirty chicken shop.
With
the rancid oil. And the dead fowl.
Yes.
Rich, sorry to cut you. Yeah, I've seen that. Have you broke that thing open and smelt it?
Mate, it smells like
it's rotten.
It's rotten. And the oil is not. People think that the oil is clean. The oil is there for weeks.
All right, Richie, you know where I'm coming from because I've got a serious topic to deal with, but I'm just touching something. But if it's only me, when they break that chicken and I work and I'm with the kids all the time and they order food, it's rotten. But I don't know if I'm the only one, but Richie can verify. They can't smell it.
No, they can't because they're so used to it.
They can't smell it. It's rotten.
Do you remember back in the day when we used to eat a chicken and you used to bite on the bone and that bone would bite you back? Because that bone was
I don't know that one.
You just go around. Well, I used to love a chicken bone. I mean, I used to just gnaw on that bone because that bone was just clinking.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're coming from. Like my dad. My dad would eat the fish head, the eyeball, everything.
Just yummed up.
Where's the fish head?
Just yummed up, bro.
Yummed that. They wouldn't waste nothing.
Well, I'd have to say you're on your own with the eyeball thing there right now.
I don't eat nothing that looks at me, blood. I keep it real. Anything that can look at me, I'm not eating it.
Yeah, man. But you see, the thing about it, is like you try and bite through a chicken bone now, and it will come like you bite through paper. The bone density in that chicken is deadpan. The chicken bone is stuffed like cardboard, like wet cardboard, because the food that the chicken is being fed is depleted of any minerals. Not only that, the chicken is full of hormones.
Yep. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we see our young boys that have bigger breasts than some women, you have to ask yourself why. And when you see that child going into the chicken shop every day after school and spending $2.99 or $1.99 on 6 bag of chicken and fries and a drink for $1.99, and then they're gonna have to pay hand over fist for a fruit, an apple or orange or whatever, you can see how the system has got our children on lock.
True. Truly true, yeah.
It's a mind game.
Yeah.
And you have to educate your children from the yard, from home. Because if you teach your children not to eat out on the street, when they go out on the street, they won't be enticed to go and live in the chicken shop or in the kebab shop, eating the greasy kebab that's been sitting down there for all 6 to 12 months.
But Richie, just want to jump in here before Stepa come in, that you look at the behavior with them youth there as well, you know, the way the way they behave and that thuggish kind of behavior and that hype and so forth, what Stepa was talking about earlier on. And you know what's interesting? That I was working in the school with some it's like a program work with young black boys them, right? And I noticed that after lunch, the youth them, they're hyper. They're very hyper, hyper, right? And we could have worked this thing out. It's after a while we realized that it's the tag shop where you have the machines where you can get the fizzy drink and chocolate and something there, right?
Yeah.
And it took a little while to work that out, you know what I mean? And you kind of tell what you're saying about the fizzy drink and the chocolate and sugar. We come to read the sugar.
Yeah, that's what Richard said. It's just
remember,
sugar.
your processed carbs, your refined carbs turn into sugar. And your body converts that very quickly. The metabolism, or the fat metabolism, is converted really quick. So you've got all of that sugar in your system. Your body will store sugar as glycogen in the muscle to be used for fight or flight. But anything else which is excess, the liver has to deal with all of that, and you end up with a fatty liver. So our children are going to suffer from diseases that affected us in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They're going to affect them when they're in their 20s and their 30s.
And Richie, sorry to cut you, the diabetes, they're getting it younger and younger. They're in their 20s. And they're
just
getting
about going to touch by the diabetes.
You can touch on that, Richie. Yeah?
I just want to touch by and step and beat me to it. Beat me to the punch.
Boy.
Yeah.
Man.
Because it can't lead to what I was going to step. You beat me to the punch in a second.
Our children are going to be pre-diabetic because the cereals. Oh, you know what? Sorry, let me just quickly touch on something. The cereals alone is something, because I mean most of our kids, they love their cereals, and even if they're not having their cereals with milk, which is a danger in itself. Yeah. And let me just say something about milk. I don't care who you are. If you're not Caucasian, you are allergic to milk. Because after 2 years old, your body stops producing lactose, lactate, which breaks down milk. So your body has no way of getting rid of the lactose. In the
lactose, yeah.
If you really want to consume milk, breast milk. But I can guarantee you right now, your face is screwing, thinking, nah, man, I'm not going to have breast milk with my cereal.
Well, man, I don't want Dougie to get arrested and going around asking for breast milk. You're going to have to word that really good. What you want? Semi-skimmed?
You just have to remind me, you have to check away, you have to half first. But breast milk is the healthy milk.
Dougie, I wonder what milk you want. Semi-skimmed.
Innit? But you have to remember that breast milk is the healthiest milk, because I don't want your child to be a sumo wrestler, cow's milk.
See there,
I want your child to be an Einstein, breast milk. Yeah. So most of the time, our children don't get the good start at the beginning of life, because they might try. The mother might try to do the breast milk thing if she's trying to keep her breast for her man, or she's trying to keep her breast for her shape, and she's like, no, I don't want to use no breast. I don't want to use my breast to feed the child because they're going to sag. The best way to lose weight after you've had a child is to breastfeed your child.
Okay then.
You will lose weight. But I mean, Dougie, it's such a wide topic, man.
No. But you see, Stepa's beat me to the punch, because the reason why I'm glad they mentioned the whole thing about diabetes, because you know that in fuck, you know that a lot of young people, even children, know of diabetes challenges right now as I'm speaking right now.
Pre-diabetic.
Yes. What, young children?
Young children. Yeah. In fact, Richard, last year, right, there was a program about diabetes, right, on TV. Because I recognize it's a serious problem now, right? Particularly with us as well, in the late 40s, 50s, you know, pre-diabetes and all them something there, right?
All right.
And obviously they get to realize a big problem, right? But also, it kind of ties what used to be talking about the again sugar, the chocolate, the crisps, the fast food, and everything. What turns to carbs, and what sugar is, right? Sugar is like a burglar, you know. It robs all the nutrients from the body.
Yeah.
See, right?
Yeah.
Can remember I said to you earlier on that if you're hooked on crack or cocaine, right, you go to a rehab, you know, and after a period of 3-6 months, it depends on you as an individual, you can't get yourself back together. See? If you're hooked on sugar, there's no rehab.
Listen,
you know?
From a man's point of view, let me just tell you this one thing, and I tell you what, if this don't put you off of sugar, I don't know what will. You see, for your dugu, you eat too much sugar, you lose that function. That function will go.
What's dugu?
All right, your erection. That will affect that. People that are diabetic, the high yield of sugar that we take in our system will have an effect on sexual function. All right, do the research and look it up.
All right, Rich. I just want to do a quick thing on branding, but we could get into it maybe next week if I've got the time. Yeah. You mentioned about something about branding and the colours, which I spoke to Doug about. There's a bank, it's red. You know what I mean?
Yep.
SAN. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let them tan there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's another one near the bar. They're blue. You know what I mean? So all these companies, they're there specifically. But my point is this about branding. I'd like the family. I'd like all them people buying Nike trainers. I specify Nike. Me not say the real thing. Like my mother say. Me not like them Nike trainers. Me want one of them. You know what I mean? So all them Nike trainers and them did us. Them trainers there. This is all branded, family. Yeah?
All of
you
it
youngers
branded.
out there, yeah? Listening. Man them out there. Girl them. Roadman out there.
Yeah.
You're all getting played. Yeah?
Yeah.
You lot got £150 trainers on. £200 trainers on. And you ain't even got a yard? You ain't got a car?
Not working.
Do the maths. Do the maths. I beg you lot. Do the maths.
Branding is can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing.
It could be a bad thing. I like what you said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my point is this, Richie.
That's why.
But hold on, Richie, just to ride on to what you say, could be a good thing or a bad thing now, right? McDonald's now, right? Right? Would anybody say that they're the most healthy food? And the argument is no. But yet again, in terms of branding, they're all over the blasted place on this planet here. So it just shows you, you know? As you said, branding could be a good thing or a bad thing.
The thing about it is if they catch you early enough, the branding, we become desensitized to the negativity of the product and we become used to the product. So even though we say, oh yeah, we know it's bad, even if they showed you how they make the burgers, the gloop, the pink gloop that they use to make the burgers and the fries, people are so hooked on it that they will still go and buy the end product because of the branding. And that's successful branding. It's a multi-million-dollar business.
Of course it is.
They will spend money on branding. When you see a company that doesn't have good branding, they just die in the wake of everybody else. Because you've got to have money for branding and you've got to bring out something that attracts people. And that's why they spend money bringing in people that are going to be marketing, people that are going to put famous names. All right, look at this. Remember the Got Milk advert?
The what one? Repeat that again, Rich.
Got Milk.
Got Milk.
No, I don't remember that one there. Was it?
You do know that one there. Think of Usher with the white moustache and the old granny with the little black girl sitting on the counter dunking their you call it round chocolate biscuits in the milk, and then all they say is milk. Got Milk. The best source of calcium that you could ever find. Something along that line. They use those people to push their brand.
Oh, push the brand, right.
You get some people who will sell out. Like some of those creams that they've got out on the market right now. But they take a good-looking black sister that already has good skin and then they will advertise a vitamin E product for the skin.
Yeah.
But if you know that vitamin E works from the inside out and not the outside in,
Not the outside in, yes. Come on.
My melanin crew.
Yeah.
The minute that you see the advert, you will say, fire burn that, because that's rubbish. But we're caught up with the white clinical background, the blue and white and the red for the Colgate and I should say the Kialgi, because the food or the items that are in the packaging are poisonous. When you look on some of the products, they say if ingested, go seek medical help. Yeah, wash out your mouth. Don't swallow it. How can you brush your teeth with something that you can't swallow?
If we go along them lines, Richie, we could end up start talking about bleaching, which I mean, all these things are psychological.
It's psychological. Yeah.
Right. You get me? They're all psychological. But my quick point, what I wanted to make, what Richie brought up, then I can let you know what feeling, is branding. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right? Any kind of branding. To me, the first branding is when somebody took an iron and pushed into my ancestor's skin. That's the first form of branding. Because that person, my ancestors then belonged to that person and it was well known. Yeah? And that branding has continued ever since. But the name has changed and the product has changed. And we, as black people, are buying the brands from the people that branded us. Right? So...
I agree. I agree.
All right? So I'd like people to just talk and check what their history of what it is. Yeah?
Yeah, man. Definitely. Well, look, I'm going to slip out and let somebody else slip in, man. But that is a topic. That is definitely a topic that you need to get to the bottom of. And the thing about it is, with your children and with us as adults, it's desensitizing the mind to the brands that are out there and putting your focus on things that are going to edify you and that are going to build you up. Nike already made these millions of years ago. The other brands that are out there, they've already made their millions. But we are putting money, our hard-earned money, into their pocket, and then what? 6 weeks later, we're buying the next pair. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks later, we're buying the latest ones that come out. Whether it's your phone, whether it's your car. Listen, it could go on and on and on. But we need to understand that material things, we don't live our life for material things.
It's true.
There are spiritual things that we need to focus on, because when you lose your spirituality, everything else is gone. You're just an empty shell looking for something to validate you.
That's true.
Whether it's a brand name or whether it's a color or a branding of color or whatever, these are the things that we use to validate us, and it shouldn't be the case.
Right. Richard, I just wanted to just let people know a little background about yourself, what kind of stuff you do, and if you don't mind, people can find you. So you got a website or whatever, because you're a very knowledgeable person. So we like for.
Well, I'm doing a talk in March called Marching Towards a Spring Clean, and basically what I do is I'm an ozone therapist. I do you call it scans, Vito scans, and I do bio scans, which is like reading the body from the hand using a cradle and identifying with technology what issues are going on in the body, and then using herbs and natural products to literally heal the body. Because I don't cure anything. I'm not interested in your cancer. I'm not interested in your MS. I'm not interested in anything at all. Those are symptoms. I'm only interested in giving the body what it needs to cure itself, rectify itself from those imbalances. So we balance the body. We balance the body back so that the body can deal with anything which is abnormal within itself. Okay?
Right.
So basically, I'm a clinical herbalist. So I use herbs to support people in health, and I also provide information for medical missionaries, because I'm part of an Adventist church, and we have medical missionaries. The medical missionaries do a wonderful work. They are on the front line of health, and they are the warriors that people need to support, because what they do is they go into homes and they help you go through your kitchen and show you what is needed, what isn't needed, what is healthy, what isn't healthy. They turn your home into a natural pharmacy. Yeah. And they give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in terms of how to eat, when to eat, why to eat, and whatever goes into your body. We practice something called temperance. New Start. New Start is an acronym for nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, trust, rest, temperance, and did I say water? And water.
And water. Okay. Then.
Yes, because water alone is a healer. It is a powerful nutrient, but it's also a healer.
Could you give us some examples? Because a lot of people don't understand how important water is to our body.
Okay, so water is the only medium that you're going to use to hydrate the body. You're not going to hydrate the body through tap water, through just pure tap water. There are different types of water. There are about 60 different types of water. Okay, just to give you an idea of some of them, there's type 1, type 2 water. You can't ingest those because those waters are what they use to cut metal. You've got spring water, you've got alkaline water. Alkaline water is good. Distilled water is, personally, distilled water number 1. Alkaline water number 2.
Still water. That's what I want to get hold of. Still water, yeah.
What is distilled water for those who don't know?
Okay, distilled water. If I ask you what is in water, what is the chemical makeup of water? H2O, right?
It's H2O, yeah.
Okay, if water is H2O, are you getting pure H2O out of your tap?
No.
Before you answer, considering that there are female hormones in tap water, there is 10% feces in Thames water. There are fluoride, chloride, and arsenic and loads of different chemicals in tap water. So, based on that alone, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, are you getting pure H2O from tap water?
No.
Okay, so pure water is at a pH of 6.5 to 7. Now, if you're drinking distilled water and you have arthritis, what's going to happen is the distilled water is going to break down the arthritis. It's going to bathe your tissue. It's going to bathe your bones. It's going to bathe your system in distilled water, and it's going to pull inorganic material out of the body. So when you go to the toilet and you pass water, you will be passing mineral water, but the mineral water that you're passing is inorganic material that the body cannot make use of. So the difference between organic and inorganic is organic means that the body can use it, and what it doesn't need, it gets rid of. Inorganic means that the body can't use it from the get-go. So you go to your doctor, he gives you an iron tablet, you get constipated, inorganic. You come to Richie, or you go to a herbalist, or to somebody else, and they give you yellow dock, dandelion.
Yeah, dandelion.
nettle.
Yeah.
And those foods are full of organic minerals that the plant has broken down from the ground and absorbed. So when you drink distilled water now, distilled water is a cleanser. It will clean your system out. Don't follow what people say about it's going to take 10 years off of your life. You've been drinking rum for how many years? You're still alive. Drinking pure water is not going to do you any damage. You understand? Alkaline water is a good water. You can get machines that do it. Jupiter, you've got Kangen water, and there are many people now that are coming into the alkaline water. But alkaline water can be used in 2 ways. When you're using a Kangen machine, you can use the acid water on the outside of your body. You use the alkaline water on the inside. Okay?
So sorry to cut you, Richie. So like, I've got certain members of our community who suffer from blood disorders, i.e. could be diabetes, could be lupus, could be sickle cell. What sort of water do you suggest they drink?
Probably still water.
Distilled water.
Probably still water.
No fizzy water. Do not touch fizzy water. Fizzy, and that's just for the people that are dealing with health challenges. Fizzy water contains carbon, and carbon goes into the system, goes into the tissue, goes into the bone, and gives you brittle bone and breaks your bone, breaks down your bone structure. Do not consume carbonated water. Pure water, distilled water, spring water, alkaline water. Bottled water is not better than tap water because bottled water is a gladiator. Bottled water has been stored for 6 months and the bacteria in there has had to survive under adverse conditions. Whereas tap water, the bacteria in the tap water is a lot weaker. So you can boil the tap water, but the fact is that the tap water contains chemicals that when you heat it, they become other things.
Mm.
Yeah, like if you've got the water and you've got it out in the sun, you've got a thing called photosynthesis. Is when the sun converts its energy and you've got water.
In the plant.
Richie can explain more on that.
Photosynthesis in the plant, yes. Photosynthesis. The plant system is exactly the same as the blood system.
Yes, yeah. But more on Richie, but you know something, right? This is quite interesting because I watched a program on TV the other day. Just turned, it's about trees. The woman who loved trees and all them something, right? So I thought, let me just watch it for a few minutes, what I'm going to deal with, right? And, you know, son, this woman, she have an office, right? In the forest. Scaffoldings and trees and kind of stuff. And she has this thing where she what the thing we it's like a thing we what do you call it? You know, you test your heart and thing. What is it? What do you call it again?
The stethoscope, the one that you push in your ear.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a stethoscope.
Stethoscope, yeah. And you know something, right? She use it to test the trees them, right? And she can hear when the trees them, because trees are just crying out for water. Hear the trees them drinking water and all that kind of stuff there, right?
All right.
Right? And when the trees, certain trees now, they have certain flowers and whatever, and the insects bite off the plants and everything, right? The trees give us certain signals to other trees, like a perfume.
It will be a scent.
Yeah, scent.
Yeah.
To
they're called pheromones.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good example.
Right.
A good example.
Yeah, and it's just fascinated. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
When you see all them something there, you know, I was really fascinated. But I had to leave, and you know what's happening? It gives me a more of an insight, now, right? To look up the whole thing about trees, you know.
Yeah.
And thing,
nature is marvelous. Man.
Yeah, nature. We look on that now.
Nature is God given, yeah, and God has.
We're part. Hold on, Richard. We're part of nature, you know.
Huh?
We're part of nature.
Of course.
Yeah, we're part of nature, man.
We are created from the Father Himself.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He ordains that we interact with nature, but what we do is we've become so desensitized to the plants, to the flowers, to the colors, and to everything that is in nature, that we now go for these synthesized or synthetic things that we're so used to. God has ordained that we use nature, and nature speaks to us. Yeah, nature. The Bible says that nature sings. Yeah, plants won't grow if they can't if they can't be subjected to the environment, the natural environment.
Very
From
true.
the fluttering of the bird's wings to the breezing of the breeze of the wind between the trees. But listen, nature is a system on its own, and we interact with that system. Yeah, just to show you the point about what the brother mentioned, what you mentioned just now about the tree signaling to other trees. Yeah, in nature, when you see animals grazing, have you ever noticed that they never graze the grass right down to the ground? Because what the plants do is they release tannins. Tannins, which is so bitter that the animals cannot eat it anymore. And then what they do is they release a signature, a scent to neighboring plants that they are being eaten. And then those plants will raise their tannin levels so that when the animal goes along to start picking them, the level of tannins are already
I never know. That's amazing.
Richie, that's deep, yeah, because it's not a chemical warfare, but it's like on a natural balance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so natural.
Yeah, natural balance. Yeah,
and nobody ain't getting harmed.
Cycle. It's a cycle. So the grass will go to a certain level, and then it'll have time to grow back. You know when they pick coffee, the reason why they pick coffee, they pick the coffee off by hand, is because when they pick the coffee off by hand, the signal goes to the other leaves, and the leaves produce the tannins that make the coffee so bitter and acrid. And then the idiot people, them that drink the coffee and the tea, they add milk to take down the acidity in the coffee or the tea, and then they put sugar in to sweeten it because they like it at a certain acidic level. But that plant has already spoken to the other plants in the same vicinity to say, hold on, somebody's picking my leaves and they're stripping me of X amount. Prepare yourself. And it is chemical warfare to an extent because the plants are trying to protect themselves.
Yes, truly.
Let me tell you something, If you've got a pen, write this down. And for the listeners, if they want to, there's a video on YouTube called The Body's Cry, Body's Many Cries for Water.
Could you repeat that, Rich?
Is it the body's cries for water or the many cries for water? There's a it's a documentary. I can't remember the name of the doctor, an Asian chap, but it's called the body's many cries for water.
I'm going to look it up later on, yeah.
And also there's another one that you guys should watch, which is called A World Without Cancer.
The World Without Cancer.
A World Without Cancer.
Can you just give us a little hint about what it's about?
Okay, so A World Without Cancer takes you through the trail that we follow when it comes to being diagnosed with cancer and the systems that are there that take us through their systems, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and basically the people that are governing and running the actual system that we believe is there to help us heal from this disease.
Heal from the
So when you follow the money and you see where it ends, and you follow all of these trick trades, doing a run for a certain disease, raising money for a disease because they say they don't have the money, but they've got millions and millions and millions of pounds in research that they can do. They keep telling you 5 years for this thing to be released, 15 years, 20 years because they're doing research, and then by the time everybody's dead up and gone, they start the cycle again. So A World Without Cancer will take you through that whole synopsis, and it will give you an open, bare bottom tank view on the whole system itself.
Right.
The video is called The Body's Many Cries for Water. I remember it now. The Body's Many Cries for Water.
Okay, then I'm going to look at that. Okay, Richie, I'm just conscious of time. Could we go back just under half an hour? And I'm hoping that we get a couple of people to contribute to the team. But it's good to have you. We definitely want to have you be part of the studio. The reason because, when we find man like you, you're like a diamond. We have to hold on for man like you, Ross. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Rich, you have to update.
Well, listen, March, we're doing we're called Natural Utopia.
Yeah.
Okay. And basically, in March, we're doing a talk, and we'll be doing scans, and we'll be doing providing massage, and we'll be providing information around health and new start. Okay?
But Richard, before that, man, we forget to come in and give a good talk on them thing, man. Yeah.
Man, I talk to the same way, man.
well, next time you come in, bring in the flyers, promote the thing.
Yeah. Mention again. So in fresh people's mouth. Sorry to stop you like that, Richie.
No, that's all right, man. Also, Dougie.
When is it gonna be? No, mention the thing. When's it gonna be? Sorry.
Right. We're sourcing a venue at the moment, but it's going to be in Shoreditch. I haven't got the address on me, but what I'll do is I'll come back online in the next couple of weeks, and then let you guys know.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's from a medical missionary, and it's from a herbalist, and it's from a masseur, and it's from a scanner's point of view.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need, Rich.
Water has memory.
Richie.
And watch the documentary.
Richie.
Did
you see the documentary about the Chinese professor and what he did, which we could tell people to do this at home? And if you're speaking to water a certain way, in a good way, in a bad way, but Richie can tell you. I've seen that documentary. It's fascinating.
Absolutely fascinating.
I know the guy. I know the thing. Yeah, I saw that years ago, and I was so enthralled with that. That kind of pushed me forward with the water issues, man. Dougie, you know how I feel about the water thing, man. You know what I've shared with you on the different types of water and how to use water. So if you remember any of that, share that with your people, then. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right, man. Listen, guys.
Respect every time, Richie.
Big up yourself,
and all the best in 2019, man.
Thanks for edifying us and educating us. Trust me, I've learned a lot.
Okay, then. Richie, big up the status, yeah?
Yeah, man. I just want to say that if there's anybody out there that's dealing with the big C, okay, the first thing that I want you to share with them is to cut out meat cut out fizzy drinks, and cut out processed foods. The closer to the ground that you eat, even if you're doing the devil treatment, if you're going to be doing the chemo and everything else, even if you're doing that, cut out all the processed food and go natural as much as you can. All right? Put your trust in the Father, man, because He's put nature there for our use.
All right. Okay, Richie.
All right.
Give thanks.
Bless up, yeah?
Bless up, Richie.
Bless up.
Thank you, man.
Easy.
All right, then. Okay, then that was Richie on the line there giving some serious reasoning. And that's what we love, you know. We love this, you know. We love it, we love it, man. You see, when man are talking, them know them a talk about, boy, you can't be that, you know. You can't be that. You just humble yourself and just listen to what the man have to say. Yeah. And the funny thing is, after a while, we get to know who the brother is, you know. Because we don't know. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, because he was telling me, he knows he's taking, and you're still kind of clocking.
Yeah, clocking. I mean, no, see, it was my brother there, Richard. All right, then, because I know there's a brother wanted to phone in and give us a little review of last year for a few minutes, and there's a sister who's supposed to promise to phone in because you got a restaurant down in Seven Sisters vegan restaurant, and this is the twins, and they're very powerful when it comes to health, very passionate when it comes to health, and we've been hoping to get the phone in. So just bear with us a second. So we just
and it's interesting to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs when considering health, because I think that the healthier you are, the more likely you are to be able to express yourself through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So his first set of needs were the physiological needs, the need for security, for safety, to have a shelter, to have food and water and warmth and heat and light. Those basic physiological requirements for us to survive as an organism. And to have those, you need to have those in order to be healthy, to live healthily. Then there's the next layer of needs is around safety and security. So to have the security and the safety of a good job, to have a good income, and to have a good house and a good home, and those kind of things that give you stability and security. If you have those, then you can be healthy. The next level up was in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is to do with belonging. And that's to do with family and friendships and a sense of belonging and connection with others. And that's very important, and that moves you up in the hierarchy. If you have the psychological things in place, if you have a sense of safety and security, and you have a sense of belonging and connection, then you can move on to the next level, which is around self-esteem. So you have confidence and you have a sense of achievement, and you're able to go out and do things in life and achieve things and set goals. And if you have all of that, and you have your health, and you're able to do all of that, then you can move to the highest level, which is about self-actualization. And this is to do with having a true purpose in life and being completely free to express yourself with spontaneity and creativity, and to be true to who you really are. It's about having a life purpose, about being able to solve things and thinking on your feet and enjoying life. And I think to be truly healthy, to be free of your symptoms and to be living in this way, with fulfilling your true purpose, and to have a sense of being and purpose in life, that's the true definition of health.
Well, I must confess, Rich, you kind of put me upon a buzz now, you know, because...
Of course, you have to have all those other things that Maslow describes in his hierarchy. So when we talk about health and homeopathy, when we talk about the healthy person...
Greetings.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, man, everything crisp, man. You all right?
Yeah, man, my God.
All right, then.
The highest levels of
no, man, good for you connect with you still, because as you know that we're down the old year now, we are going the new year and things. So I don't want for reason with the eye still. So, or you
know
find
them as they're talked about in society.
the whole year, or you find out 2018 or 17. I don't even know what year it is.
Yeah, 2018, well, you know, everything always have its good side and its bad side, you know. So it have its ups and downs, you know. Yeah, but, you know, we had some, well, I had some good moments anyway, you know. I did a good little lecture down at Dalston Fire.
Oh, yeah, I remember, yeah.
I went to a brilliant show with Muta Baruka and Umar.
And free. So, you know,
and
if I develop an achy knee.
Yeah, overall here, what mother said.
And I'm unable to walk as much as I
it have it ups and downs, because we still are waiting to see black people wake up. And we still not see that. So that upon the negative side. So we have a whole heap of work to do.
Yeah, man, whole heap of work, yes.
People like us, we have a whole heap of work to do.
These are restricting my freedom and my creativity. And actually one is very
you know,
to the other.
The Chinese them continue to invade Africa with them marketing strategy.
Then maybe
Africa now respond properly towards
so I'm no longer able to walk to work. This would be the body's way of sorting out an issue that I leave unchecked.
In fact, the African people allow the African
this is what
leaders
we're talking about when we're talking about health and disease,
you know?
And the way that
just like them did 400 or 500 years ago.
We are
the same thing
so
come
intelligent.
now,
The
but
body is so intelligent.
instead of them come with gun and knife, them come with some paper money, one hand or use car. They can make it value.
So if you don't
can value a pound today and value a penny tomorrow.
Look after the stress
like
in
what
your
them did with Zimbabwe
then your
and
body will
Zimbabwe
find
currency
ways to look after that stress for you,
and
it will
turn
manifest
Venezuelan
in your
currency
being,
into nothing.
mentally,
Right.
So we are upset money now.
We all know that if we cut ourselves,
the things that is far
much
more value than
get the
what
dirt out of it and look after
you
it.
know, we are get paper
Miraculously,
digits,
the body will heal.
electronical digits,
We are
things that
removing the
you know
blockages,
is
the
tangible,
dirt, the stress
and things that
that's
are
built
sure
up
only
into
for
the
use
gut.
to them.
And
we now see
keeping it
no
clean, free
use.
of bacteria and viruses,
And
so that
the
body
things
can
them what
heal
them are
it.
give you.
Well, it's exactly the
You know,
same.
because
with
if them
mental
come to
and
build a
emotional
railroad, then carry
illness
all of them
and
work
other,
come.
more
Who, the
complicated
Chinese people, them?
Yeah,
of course. They bring all the
blockages and
people that come
stress
down and
that have happened to you over the duration
So,
of your lifetime.
we now learn nothing,
And look after yourself. If you are
we
aware
now
of
progress
that,
up the
if you
line.
listen
So
to the
them
signs
just
and
want to
symptoms
use it,
that your body is giving you,
take over the land and
then that stress will continue to build
export
up
them people.
until the body is screaming
Because a new farm, what them
through
call
physical
colonization.
symptoms, and you're no longer
So them
able to
come
be as
now
free
and
and
them force
creative
themselves
as you
on
used
you.
to be.
And once them
So
there, you can't get rid of them because you
This
don't have the
is what we talk
military
about
mind to move
in
them out.
homeopathy when we're looking at
You know,
health
so
and
if you don't
disease,
cut it from
what it truly
beer
means to
one,
be healthy,
I've
and
got
what
a
it
big,
means
big, big,
to
big, big problem down
with
the road.
disease.
This
At the
is
end
why
of
you
the
see
day,
even the
you know,
British
we are
them
all
under
living with
Brexit.
illness. We are all,
You know?
we all have some level
British
of
them under
disease,
Brexit
some
because
level of restriction,
people
some
have
way
flood
that
them
we're not
left, right,
expressing
and
ourselves
centre.
as freely and
And some of the
creatively
people
as
them
we would
who
like
have
to.
flood them,
It's
them
manifesting
never did
at
trouble them in
different
the
levels
past, you know.
in all of us.
You could have
So
said
we all
people
do the
like
best
we,
that we can to be
them
healthy,
owe we.
but we are
But some of the people
so
them are come
empowered,
from some place
we are
around
so
the world
strong,
where
we are so good at
they
curing
never owe them a
ourselves
thing. They
that we
have no
really need to take the
reparation
time
to
to
pay
look
them. But
after
they have
ourselves better,
reparation
to
to pay.
understand what disease is and what the signs
And
and
speaking
symptoms
of
are
that,
that the body
reparation
is
must
giving
go
us,
and
so
see
that
them
we
way,
can stay healthy,
you know.
so we can live
But,
longer, so we can
So
enjoy our
let me
lives
ask you a
and live to
question.
our
So,
true potential.
what is your personal
And
plan
that's,
for
that's
2000 and what we know?
being on
2019?
planet Earth is about, you know, being able to express yourself
19. What's your personal
plan?
and have a fulfilling
My
life,
personal plan,
and
you
to
know,
give
is
something
to,
back
is to
friends
get
and
the
family,
message out
and
more
to have a fulfilling
to the people.
job and to
You
do
understand?
work
And
you
make,
enjoy.
and
You know,
try
that's living.
make the people come together
if you can
more.
go beyond that,
Just like they do
then that's
before,
even
but
better.
it's like we have to have a
And
choice.
that's what
Step
health
up
gives
the
us.
market, the whole
And that's what a
marketing
homeopath
process. Because
working with you would
the
be
people
looking
then still
to try and
asleep,
help
you know. In fact,
with your physical ailments, with your
some
mental
are in a
ailments, with
deep
your
sleep and
emotional
some even
ailments,
worse, some they're in
looking
a
at the whole
coma.
picture and advising you on
So you have to wait them out the coma first, innit?
Yeah.
remove
And so that
those obstacles to cure.
that are the thing, but you know, so we have friends, you know, we have friends like Donald Trump and all them people there.
Well, Donald Trump's a favorite friend?
Yes, man, I will ask you, man. Donald Trump, I remind them how white people stay.
From this perspective, then...
So all who think the white people are like people, Donald Trump. You see what now? Then can't, you see, black people can't see when the white man are coming. Yeah, when the white man are coming, him like it. But when the white man playing like how Donald Trump playing now, yeah, it gets realized, you know, say, that thing is not too nice. Yeah, so that way it might wake up a little, you know. So,
all right.
Yeah, cause if you look at history of black people, you know, it was when things was rough who will rise to the occasion, you know. You had Marcus Garvey rise when the thing was very bad. You had a whole heap of people rise when the thing was playing before. You know, the people them have under illusion. I tell people, say, yes, things are right for everybody, but the people them I feel it and still I listen to the propaganda.
So tell me something. When Barack Obama was in power, you don't think things were better for black people then?
Barack who?
Barack Obama. Think never better for black people then?
No, it got worse and you know so much killing that are going on black people. Policemen did that shoot down man.
No, but you see the thing is that which is a flavor still because most people feel say things is better. The funny thing is that when he was elected, right? Steppers, me feel strong, me feel good. You know, step on the hype team. You know? Yeah. And then right he start to kick in and I'm still here.
I think Dougie, we was on the hype team. And whether it's off, sorry. I think we was all on the hype team and there's a comedian who said, boy, I don't care if he wins, helps us or don't help us, it's a black man. And as I see it for myself, I want my child to look at that man and say, if he can do that, you can do it. Yeah. I don't care about his politics. I don't care if he's liberal, Labour. I want children to look and see as we as black people can achieve.
But the family thing was very powerful. What I saw of that, the family. Yeah, very powerful, the family. You know.
It's all illusion, you see. It's all illusion and it catch enough people, you know. Enough people. The illusion catch enough people.
Yeah, we know what it isn't. You know what I mean? And we know what it is.
Well, it takes something like...
I don't know what the virgin they want to see when him see... I don't know what him see when him see Obama. When I see Obama in a president, I see a traitor in office. So I don't know if he want him son them to go up to the traitor.
No, I'm not looking at it like that.
No.
I'm looking
but that's all it is. It's not what you want it to be, you know. This is why I have to stop come out. I want an illusion. It's not what you want it to be. It is the way that it is.
I could break it down simple. If my son wants to be a footballer and he's saying about this racist and this and that, I don't care what black man is playing on the pitch. I don't care if he plays for Arsenal. I don't care if he plays for Tottenham. I don't care what his politics are, what team he supports. I'm showing my son, my children, you can achieve that. And you can do it the right way. Other than their politics, brethren, I'm not in that. You know what I mean? But I understand your point, but it's just, it is an illusion. But there's always illusion and there's always a reality.
No, I mean, you're entirely, because you're a ship and you're a car. I am stating a fact that if we have to get together, we have to put through our own house in order. The house the name White House. It's meant for white people. So anybody who go in there will do things for white people. You understand?
Yeah, but
remember this. No. So when you use your football terminology, it's like you're just contented to be with a high-paid slave. And what happened, you see, the black people who are make money on the illusion, now help the other black people. That's why we're still at the bottom of the pile, because them only are going to get the job, because them know, say, them is a proper house player. Them not going to get the job if them turn like me. Because me are going to change things. You understand?
No, but Ross, let me see if I can jump in here, because that's going to come down to a level of consciousness and awareness. We talk about footballers and so forth, because the reality is that they only going to look up for themselves, and I can see with that. You see, you know, lest they come to a certain kind of awareness and when you come to kind of awareness, conscious, right, you become more accountable to your community, to your people. Them, see, so that only come about when you come more conscious and aware, because what you're saying is true. But I don't expect them to look out for black people. Cause you know, don't forget, one of them you they just come through the ghetto still, you know. Them just come through and, you know, next thing they make some money to buy a fast car. And they just wanna make it. You know what I mean? You know.
And the point is,
but you see, this is the old mentality that I try to work on to change.
You see, me understand that still.
This is the mentality that ain't going nowhere. You understand? This is the mentality that bringing Obama and things is a good thing to be, should be a slave to a system that is not taking care of you and your family.
No, but you see, the thing, no, but hold on, the thing.
Only one person.
Yeah.
Me no ever do anything for the community as a sportsman. And a Lennox Lewis. We can't call another name.
No, but
there isn't, you know. But I can't call another name.
No, what you saying is right, you know. But I mean, right? All right, you're upon a certain level of consciousness, right? Right. But are you to see someone like Barack Obama, no, right?
Yeah.
Right. As Steppers was saying, right? That you see him, who's the president. You see him with his family. You said, well, weird. This man here, you know, he's made it. You know what I mean? To some extent, that can inspire that you. They say, well, look, if he can do it, I can do it. See? Just physically seeing someone, you know, gives that inspiration. So, I'm just understand what Steppers is saying. Right? And understand what you're saying as well.
Like this, Dougie. Like I said, the only terminology I could deal with, yeah, and break it down and simplify it is that I watch football. I know how racist football was back in the day. But did that stop any of us letting our youths them play and trying to achieve certain goals in football and play for Premier? If you look at the England team, what is it? It's nearly all black.
Yeah, but at least about 5-6 players
but
on black.
I understand what my man said. If we change the mentality and don't get into this game with these people, and then
you know, so I know why you have to overstand it, though.
Yeah.
Why you forget the fullness of it.
The fullness.
Yeah,
a whole heap of work for a whole heap of people.
Because you see, if you overstand it, you go look. You're not going to see what underneath it and what inside it.
You go deep.
The more you look from it from outside and from inside.
See it
you understand? From top, bottom, inside.
All right. No, from me said, you know, you're talking about still, but yeah, which is I try for reasons still. And
no, because what we are saying is that. If we look what Obama do for the black people, him don't do anything. Him do.
No, I'm in agreement still with that, you know. But
no, but I am saying,
yeah,
you see what black people like cosmetic thing, and black people like a lie. That are the way we come now. We like a lie. White man teach us like lie. Like when we hear the truth, we say, boy, chuck that too.
Oh, let me ask you a question then. So you don't think Barack Obama inspired certain group of young people?
No, all right. Let me show you something.
No. I mean, ask you a question. You know.
What you are things you have to look for.
No, man, I think what me, you know, Russ. I think about here am I saying, you know, this is what I'm saying. You don't. Because I'm asking you don't think Barack Obama inspired certain group of young people around the world, black people, what? Inspired certain black people.
To do what?
No, that's what I'm asking you.
No, if a man I got inspire someone, I'm going to inspire them to do something. What him inspire them to do?
So, all right, so the question I'm asking, you don't see him inspiring black people then?
But me ask you to
no,
do
so,
what?
No, I'm just saying, right? as someone who's reached the White House, right? So-called White House, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna agree with what you're saying in terms of what his mission is, right? But to inspiring, as a young person, look at Barack Obama, who's made become the president, right? As someone who's coming as a black family, right? Right. To some extent, I'm saying that he's inspired a certain group of people out there. Really agree with his politics or whatever the case may be. He's inspired certain people to say, listen, if he can reach a certain point, right, I can reach a certain point.
Yeah,
See,
I mean, I say.
Yeah.
Inspire for what? Inspire up Orwell to be a traitor?
Say, no, man, y'all bring something else into the reasoning, no, you know.
No, I know something else. Something what you overlook because what the man.
We're not talking about traitor, you know.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
the man is an actor, yeah? He's not a president. No president no exists. He is an actor. And he come to do instruction and act out a role. That's in the fact. And most of the president them dead fact. So if you now go take the cloud out of the way and see what go on, you now go able to win the game. The reason why you see all England so big, all when England is down in a football, England couldn't even qualify for go to World Cup. You understand?
See.
England control football same way because them control the things that make the rules. You understand? And is that the people them have to understand? So we need to get in a position where we make the rules, not where we are served. That's why we want to promote business and them kind of thing because that's all the money there. Cause if you notice the other day, right? Did you know say up to a few years ago, is a black man that won Gatwick Airport? You know?
On what?
Gatwick Airport.
Gatwick Airport?
Yeah. There's a black man that won it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A Nigerian, yeah.
Yeah.
And what them do? Them fly some drone, because they want it back, and them fly some drone over in place, and them claim to some drone are fly over in place, and them have to sell it fast. You understand? So if you don't know the game, it's like you can't, they don't have what you call it, primary school football, and want to play against. Want to play in a Champions League, you know.
Yeah, but you
have to be at the level of training and skill.
Why
it takes to reach Champions League.
No, but you see, all right then. You see, we are talking about no. Me agree with what you're saying, you know, right? But as a youth, right, just coming up, watching certain individuals, black players playing football.
Yeah, but my
no, hold on a second.
Listen to me.
Hold on a second, man. Right,
yeah.
To some extent, right, they want to be inspired because they see them do it, right? I want to be a footballer. I want to make money. I want, you know, whether you agree with their politics or whatever, right? This is what they want to do. Same like Barack Obama, right? To some extent, right, you see him come true, right? Come the president of the world. He has some impact on some young people, you know, like it or not, you know.
Of course, we know him has impact on people. We're not asking what kind.
Yeah, but that's not the argument, no, you know. No, you're different. You're different spin pan the thing, Russ. You know,
no, hold on now. Trump now have a whole heap of impact on people.
Course he has.
Exactly.
Course
so
he
what
has.
Kind of impact him have?
But that's a different argument, no.
No, it's not a different argument.
No, different argument, that, Russ. No. Trump will have an impact on a certain amount of people out there. Yes, of course he would do. Right? No, Trump will have an impact on certain people out there. Certain white extremists or white supremacists or whatever the case may be. He will have impact on certain people. You know?
But whether you want to admit it or not, you know, right now Trump do more for black people than what Obama ever did.
All right, I'm in agreement with that, you know.
If you look at what Trump do now, you know, Trump cut people prison sentence in the prison industrial complex, which is full of black people in the United States. Kind of thing. So what I'm saying, people looking at Obama and saying he's a black man and them thing that. But that is just a figure. That is just a smoke screen. And I don't know how to try to get out of this.
But no disagreement with that. Me overstand that, you know, Russ. Me overstand that, but
yeah, but you see, anything you want to do, right? You have to have a reason why you want it.
True.
Why would it be that a man who is going to be a traitor to his people, who going to give white people everything and don't give you nothing at all, you would want him to be a role model?
No. You misunderstand what I'm saying still, you know.
No, I do misunderstand, because you just think that somebody in a high office is a good thing to model. And it's not.
But hold on. Is that we agree or we disagree? Yes, sir.
Hold on now.
Hold on. We agree, we disagree. We're in agreement with you, right? But the question I asked you, earlier on, right? You don't feel that Barack Obama is inspired certain, I would say mostly young people, even, well, not young people, but people around the world, based on, right, the fact that he's become the president, the fact that he's got a family, just that, the way he articulates himself, the way he presents himself, and so on, right?
If you want to be a good speaker and you can use Barack Obama, yes.
Yeah.
You can. If you want to be an orator, Barack Obama is a good orator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Hitler was also a good orator, you know.
Who that?
And Hitler. You know?
Okay, of course. Yes, true.
Yeah. So, but if it's presidency you talk about now, that is going to concern your well-being. Yeah. Then it is not no example for black people. And any inspiration, all right, would you, if I did say to you, so well then, Wayne name is a good, what do I name? The one where them capture Mexico.
Who that?
The criminal where them capture Mexico.
I can't remember his name.
Well, look at man who I kill people.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember his name. All right. But hold on,
inspire people to, you know.
I'm just conscious of time now. We have to keep this reason next time still because
him inspire people as well. So that's what I say.
You see,
that's why I say you have to be specific in what kind of inspiration.
All right then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, look here. We got cut now because next DJ is in the house now. See?
All right then.
Right?
All right.
So we can do reasoning still on a different level still.
All right.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man. Respect.
Yeah, and big up the blessed listeners and the blessed family.
Yeah, man.
And big up blessing, yeah?
Yeah, man. All right then.
All right then. One love.
Yeah. All right then. So we come to the close about that. That's an interesting reasoning because interesting reason, but we understand what the brother's saying still, you know? And thing. All right then. So stepping on the chair.
No, I understand what you were saying or understand. Yeah? But it's not. You know what I mean? It's complicated. It's so. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm saying, but like I'm saying, he said a good point. No matter what the person.
No, he's on point. It's on point.
You can inspire someone. You can have Jesus, as them say. They could have him. Yeah, you can inspire him. He could inspire a man to do good, and he could inspire a man to do bad. That's what me done. That's me. Whether you want to go on the side of Obama, it's the thing that you can inspire somebody to do good, and I think the Ras made his point that a man can inspire you to do good, but him not get no squeeze, and I respect the Ras on that. Him not get no. If he's in there, it might work for somebody.
Well, that is true.
Disagree with you.
Disagree with that.
Yeah.
Okay then.
You know,
all right, then. We're going to bring this up close.
So old tight Richie, big up Richie, yeah. We got the last caller as well. Deep reasoning. If not Shiffy. Yeah, big up Ras Mackay, yeah.
Every time Ras Mackay, the man up there.
Get some beating. I was at the studio crew. They're available.